And it says we're live. Good evening. No one is watching this because they should rightly be watching other fucking streams. Live streams from Ottawa, live streams from Calgary, live streams from Quebec, anywhere else but here. If you're here, stay a minute, say hello, and then go back to the important stuff, people. Thank you for coming if you do.
Or they could watch two streams at the same time. You can open YouTube in multiple windows, right?
You know what? I do that too, actually, that I'll put on
Yeah.
a live stream while I'm doing something else and just keep my ear open for some crazy thing happening and go
Right.
back to it. Because I have been perusing bunches of live footage, and after just one day of the police acting on the Emergencies Act, there is now literally hundreds, if not 1,000 hours from multiple angles all over these protests in Ottawa that prove that everything the Ottawa Police Twitter page and the Liberal MPs in Parliament are, everything they say is a fucking lie, and there's photo and video evidence to prove it.
Doesn't matter though. People are they're uninterested. They don't want to know the truth. They just want to be told a story.
Well, yeah, I mean, ask Catherine McKenna or her good friend Goebbels. Repeat it long enough and loud enough, and people will believe it.
It's true.
Right? The assertion after assertion doesn't require evidence if you just keep asserting it enough. It's like a kind of magic, and
it's a kind of magic.
Uncle Jeezy, thanks for being here. You shouldn't be. You should be watching the A team. I have decided I've resigned myself to the C team.
Welcome, Jeezy.
Yes, yeah, no, thank you for popping by. But before we get too actual deep into conversation, I just want to talk about the title, Strange Bedfellows. Justin Trudeau is truly a uniter of peoples. He brings all kinds of people together, all right? Yep. The radical socialist ACAB types, the Antifa people, are now pro-police. The Bloc Québécois has abandoned the Liberal Party to side with the fucking Conservatives. The most villainous hive of scum, the worst anti-Semitic hole on the internet next to Stormfront, 4chan's forum called Politically Incorrect, has aligned with the Jewish Internet Defense Force after Justin Trudeau accused the Jewish member of parliament of standing with people who hold swastikas.
Right.
He has brought all kinds of people together against him. And now, if you notice the ticker, hashtag Blackface Hitler is trending on Twitter right now. Some 80,000 tweets or something like that just from today. Because, Greg, you were telling me after yesterday's events, and you weren't like, I was watching all day. You didn't watch it all day. You saw.
No, I flipped back and forth. It became too. It became too. What's the word? It was stressing me out. How about that? It was stressing me out too much to watch.
So CNN did one good thing in their whole career, which was produce this thing called Blackfish about the orcas. Mm-hmm. My friend and I watched it together. Halfway through, we had to stop and take a break. He said, "This is hard to watch. I can't do it." I was like, "No, I get it." And that's what it was like yesterday. And today is worse.
Yeah, I haven't watched any real footage today. I went on Zoke's live stream about an hour ago just to see what was going on. And they were arresting some woman. And another woman was there giving her a hug. And that's all I saw. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what it was basically, because the trucks are, effectively gone. There's like a handful left. And it's now just people sort of congregating in the street, which is their right.
You would think.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I can understand the argument from the government saying you can't block the road with these trucks. We're moving them.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. But when people are just protesting and chanting in the street, in Ottawa, right in front of Parliament Hill, they would, and I think some of them even went on to like the green space or white space now because it's all snow covered.
Sure.
Of Parliament Hill. But for a while, it was closed. They wouldn't allow people on the green space. So they had no place to protest except the street.
No, yeah, the proper place to protest was shut down, so they
Yeah.
protested just outside that. Well, that's illegal. You're committing a crime. Do you notice for 2 weeks they didn't refer to it as an illegal occupation? It's almost like they had to take the time to go to the focus groups and see which of these phrases is going to be most divisive, make people most afraid of hot tubs and bouncy castles.
Yeah. Barbecues. Barbecues and teepees. So I guess there's a contingent of the First Nations people there,
Oh, yeah.
and they've got teepees set up, and they're less inclined to hassle them because of the optics associated with it, but they're still hassling them.
Of course, they ran a Mohawk Indigenous elder down with a fucking horse.
Oh,
But they
was that
she's
yesterday?
a Mohawk elder.
Was that yesterday or today?
Yesterday. That
Was that
yeah,
was
the old woman in the red coat with the walker. Shall I
she's a
run the
Mohawk
trip?
elder?
She's a Mohawk elder, and it turns out can't confirm. The Mohawk tribe may have declared war on Canada.
Wow. No shit, eh?
I know, like, yeah, it's so good, man. This is all so good.
Are you old enough to remember the Oka uprising?
No, maybe. I mean, I don't know what it is.
It was the
Wait,
Mohawk uprising in Oka, Quebec. Oka is not known. It's not only known for their wonderful cheeses, but Oka is a place in Quebec where there was a monastery where they made cheese, but it's also a strong or a large sort of portion of the Mohawk nation resides in Oka. There was land that they considered theirs, even if they didn't have the title, and it was being given or granted by the government to private interest to build a golf course. The Oka tribe blocked the street, and it was a standoff for, if I recall correctly, it was several weeks, because the Mohawks showed up there with their trucks across the street, blocking the road, to keep the construction vehicles and everything off of this land. And they were there with guns. They had their rifles out, and the cops didn't want to do anything because, one, they don't want to get into a firefight, and two, it would look very, very bad.
Yeah.
I think ultimately it was cleared. Something was arrived at. But in this instance, the officials came to the table and said, okay, let's talk about this. But that's not what's going on with the Ottawa mayor. It's not what's going on with the premier. Here's the thing. Did you see Doug Ford's speech recently where he said, we want an end to all this?
I saw him lose
That
it.
was the most genuine speech he's given in the last 2 years.
Yep.
Where he said, we're all sick of this. This just needs to end. We need to learn to live with it. Yes. Yes, we do. You should have been saying this 6 to 8 months ago, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm glad you finally, had a moment of clarity and decided to speak genuinely about the situation. If the Conservatives wanted to do anything, I mean, not the Conservative leaders at the federal level, because they have no power. But if the Conservatives want to do anything to sort of cement themselves as, being the real leaders, so to speak, Premier Ford would go and talk to the people in Ottawa. I mean, Ottawa is still in the province of Ontario. If he said,
Yes,
I'm going to sit down with Tamara, whatever her name is, and so and so and so and so, and we're going to discuss the mandates, what Ontario is doing, and what kind of pressure we can bring to bear on the federal government, and see if I don't know.
Yeah.
How many premiers in Canada are on the Conservative in the Conservative Party?
I don't know how many are Conservative parties provincially. I do know 7 of them in the provinces, the territories don't count apparently, have declared against the use of the Emergencies Act.
Yeah, most of them have.
7, but not Doug Ford.
Yeah, see, that boggles my mind.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And because Doug Ford has somehow found himself in the pocket of the federal Liberal Party.
Well, that's why I keep saying that they're just controlled opposition at this point. Conservative Party has been controlled opposition since Harper left. They're not interested in presenting an actual, foil against the liberal agenda. They're on board with it. They just have to squawk about it
Or
to appear
Harper
legitimate.
or Harper did a better job of hiding it, which is what a lot of people think, right? That
I
Harper was
mean,
always like pro
here,
UN, pro Agenda
yeah,
2030,
yeah.
or,
But I mean,
yeah,
here's the thing: conservatives in Canada have never been really that conservative. You
which
know
is
what I
a
mean?
shame.
They're not. They're
Yeah.
not like they don't hold traditional conservative values. They're more of like a roadblock to liberal agenda.
Well,
And
literally
now they're
called
not even. They're
progressive
now they're
people.
not even that.
Yeah.
They're only that, vocally. They're not actually. They don't put forward any policy changes. When they're in power, they don't move the agenda to a conservative, to conservative direction.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've said it before that they're not the conservative leadership, they're the conservative followership. They follow whatever the polls are telling them rather than
Exactly.
put out a solid platform and say, "Look, I think you guys are wrong. You've been tricked. This is actually good. Look at it." They don't do it. They just follow along with the polls. And now, like, so many people are mad at Justin Trudeau. They think this is a great political opportunity to win and get jobs and not actually do anything conservative. And I think they're going to lose a lot of people. Like Pierre Poilievre is going to have the charisma to keep a bunch of people. But provided that this Emergencies Act doesn't get every PPC supporter and potential campaigner arrested, gulag, disappeared, because I'm blackpilled. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
PPC
I'm more.
garnered
I'm
super vote.
more gray pilled. How about that?
Sorry. I'm sure I had something to do with it.
No, no.
Or
But here's the
all
thing.
the
I
uncut live
see.
footage has something to do with it.
Well, that it doesn't help for sure. I see the negative direction, but I'm still white pilled enough to hold on to the belief that reasonableness and liberty will ultimately win out. Because I've said it before, authoritarianism, tyranny, they're not stable. They never
Yeah.
are. Right? And the biggest mistake that these WEF, UN, European Union, all of these like large distance sort of authorities have is that they think they're not tyrannical in what they're doing, but they are. They think what they're doing is good for everybody. They're like Darth Vader, right? Darth Vader just wanted to end the destructive conflict that was raging across the galaxy. He wanted to bring order to the galaxy. He thought
But
he was being a good guy, right?
he was also the puppet of the emperor who had other things in mind, right?
Well, the Emperor wanted control over the galaxy. Yeah. Darth Vader thought that he could sort of like temper the hubris of the Emperor, so to speak, right?
Eh.
Squid
Cool
Coyote,
there.
hello. Hello, Squid Coyote. I don't know who Squid Coyote is.
Squid Coyote was around when I was tiny. I'm
Oh,
still tiny, but even tinier,
yeah.
and then sort of disappeared for a while, and has been appearing from time to time in the past, I don't know, 6-8 months.
Yep.
I don't know what happened, but yeah, thanks for being here.
Well, Squid Coyote, if you're not a follower of my channel, feel free to go over to my channel and follow me there.
Craig Bragg.
I got a new subscriber.
Nice.
I got a notification. Someone called Suck My Silencer 747 subscribed to me today, which I think is a great name.
That's so
He's
good.
got his own YouTube channel. I don't know if he makes videos. Yeah, he's got a few videos. It looks like it's mostly really short stuff, some gameplay stuff. But in any event, thank you, Suck My Silencer 747, for becoming a member. I hope you stay a while and check out some of my past videos, my back catalog, so to speak. If you're watching, which you're probably not watching, but maybe you'll see this at some point. And Squid Coyote, yeah, if you want, go over to my channel and subscribe too. I'd like to break 400 subs at some point.
Yeah, like I rolled over 700 at one point, and then YouTube was like, "Nah, fuck that."
Yeah, I was almost 500 subscribers at one point, and I've
Really?
lost 100. And what was really weird, I would make a video and I'd lose a sub.
Yep, every time.
Yeah.
When I say every time, brother, I mean every goddamn time. Oh, it's so good.
Anyway,
Yeah, I just
so yeah, I guess I know you're black pilled. Like I said, I'm gray pilled.
well, you said a thing, and I believe it,
Yeah,
but I don't believe it the same way you do. That something along the lines of, correct me here, that truth, justice, freedom will win. Eventually is the key word there.
well, no, I think here's the thing. I
Wait,
think
wait, 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 wait.
go ahead.
Before
I'll
you
let you
go
finish.
into
Sorry.
your explanation, am I wrong? Am I so wrong I need a correction, or is that vaguely good enough?
No, I think it's oversimplification. It's not. It's not. They will win eventually in the end, because here's the thing: history is never ending. Life is never ending,
Okay.
and I think stability is what ultimately wins out. But stability can't be achieved through force and coercion. Stability can only be achieved through recognizing liberty. And as liberty prevails, that's when we get our times of stability, right?
I'd like to jump in here and point out that the Soviet Union survived a solid 70 years before it collapsed,
Sure.
that communist China is running stronger than ever, and
Mhm.
North Korea doesn't look like it's anywhere, anywhere close to coming down without actually just being fucking nuked off the map, let alone the Muslim states. All right.
Yeah.
I think that one day people in Canada will think to themselves, something's wrong here. But it'll be when 35 million Canadians are trying to either justify, explain, or ignore how a million other Canadians no longer exist. It's going to take that at this point.
You think
Okay.
there's going to be an unvaxxed genocide?
N- Not even unvaxxed, right? There's going to be a dispersion. There's going to be crackdowns. The Ottawa police services have basically said they're
And you
going
just think our population is going to wane?
to no, that they're going to hunt people who were supporting the convoy. They literally said this: "We will be coming for you over the next months and years." Right? The emergency powers will not be relinquished.
When
Uh,
did they say this?
the Ottawa Police Services said this in a news conference, that they will be hunting supporters of the protests because they're illegal occupations. It doesn't matter that occupation requires a militarized force. They've called them occupations, and now they are.
Therefore, they are.
Oh, yeah, that oh, no. This suspension of all your charter rights and freedoms is compliant with the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and we're going to seize your assets. We're going to arrest you without due process because we can now. And until it's like a million people that are just missing, right? No one's gonna say anything. Like, they're saying it now, but those people are. It's not gonna work.
No.
I
Okay.
just
Now
don't
here's the
believe
thing.
it. I love the energy. I'm so happy they're doing it. It's not gonna fucking work.
Well, here's my, well, no. Here's the thing. It will not work. You're right. In the short term, it's not going to work. Um, and this is speaking on a more philosophical level, not on an individual, state level or current events level. You mentioned North Korea. You mentioned communist China's, as strong as it ever was, and communist China is not that strong. If you don't believe that, there's lots of scholars who will tell you they're more in debt economically. They're more worse economic shape than the United States. Now, Razor has a really good rant on the paper tiger that is China.
Yeah.
Okay. The As far as North Korea, Soviet Union, all these former or quasi-communist states, they're not stable. They've never been stable, right? They've never operated with stability. They've operated using force and coercion, but they've never had a a happy, complacent, or or maybe complacent, but a happy, contented population. And it took years. You're right. It took years. And I'm not saying it's not going to take years for Canada to come back. I'm not saying it's not going to take years for Western civilization to come back and say we are going to be this is going to be the dominant mindset or worldview of the nation state and individual liberty and the state existing to serve the people. That will come back. It's going to take a while. It's going to be a quasi morphed version of what we've enjoyed before with little tweaks here and there. It's never going to be the same. Like I'm saying is I don't have a utopian vision of having a libertarian paradise. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
Or that's what I'm saying. It's not going to be a utopian vision of a libertarian paradise. What I am saying is that ultimately the instability of tyranny is its own downfall. And the most stable times in history are when people are free and content. Not complacent, but content.
You're not wrong. However, your gray pill is that you think that at least one of us, you or I, is going to live to see it. My black pill is that, nope, we're done.
You have a better chance of living to see it
than I do. I don't have kids.
You have a better chance of living to see it than I do because you're younger than me.
But neither of us will. And if I had kids, they wouldn't see it either, and maybe their grandkids would see it. But yeah, no.
That's why Irving, we have to fight. We have to plant that tree knowing we're never going to enjoy its shade.
I don't disagree. I'm going to go ahead and do that. But I expect that the end result will be I will be disappeared or killed, and no one will say a fucking word. That's my expectation.
Have you ever seen the movie? I'm not going to say the movie. Have you ever read V for Vendetta?
I have a very nice paperback. What's it called there? Graphic
novel, yeah.
But I have not yet read it.
Oh, you should read it.
Yeah. The movie was quite good.
See, this is the thing. I have not seen the movie because I read the graphic novel, and I heard things about how the ending of the movie was different from the ending of the graphic novel. And I'm like, I don't want to watch the movie now. But now I kind of want to watch it because the visuals in it, I've seen clips, and I'm like, those visuals are amazing, and I really want to watch it. But part of me is like, if I watch it, I'm going to be disappointed by the ending. So, in any event,
Terry, I am in a weird place because I have been reading since 3 years old. I had a university reading level at like 7 or 8, and I've read a lot. I know too many people with university degrees that have never read anything that was not assigned to them.
Yeah, that seems insane to me. How do you get to that level of education without having a desire to read or a desire to expose yourself to things?
You know what? The force of it, you have to read these semi-high level and then higher level things is enough. But for whatever reason, they don't ever pick up a book of their own accord.
Wow.
But also, my dad was a merchant who owned a audio video store. So, the year I was born was the year VHS came out. And so my parents got me and a VHS player for Christmas. I've been inundated by films and reading the whole time. So I know how to separate the two things.
Yeah.
And I've seen movies that are good that aren't like the book and yada, yada, and all that shit. And there's one movie I know for sure that is actually fixed all the problems in the book because the author was very young, even though he was quite good. That's Chuck Palahniuk in Fight Club.
Yeah.
Everything wrong with the book is fixed in the movie. Great.
See, I've never read the book, but I love the movie.
Because film is a proper medium if you know how to use it as an artist.
Yeah.
And yeah, I read the book, and it's like, yeah, no. This young guy wrote this book in one of the darkest places of his life, and it's good. Some of the, but it's sifting. You got to sift through 10 pages to find one good line that you're going to memorize for the rest of your fucking life.
Right.
But it's worth it. And then the movie just cleans it up. V for Vendetta is backwards. It's a good movie. It's a good action movie, and it
Mhm.
sort of sticks to the heart of the idea, but it's nothing compared to the graphic novel.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
it's
that's
telling
that,
you a
and I mean,
story.
I'm gonna watch it. I know I will. I just haven't yet, and it keeps showing up like when I scroll through my. I think it's on Disney Plus. I could be wrong. When I scroll through my shit, I'm like, oh, I want to watch that, but not right now. You know what I mean? So I need to get in the right headspace for it. Um, but uh, but yeah, I was thinking about now that's a movie. It's a work of fiction, but it boils down a point, and the best line out of that is that government should fear its people. People shouldn't fear their government.
Yes,
Um,
100%. I just
I'm
want to
I
address this little thing that happened here in the chat.
yeah. There's been a couple of chats, so you maybe
Yeah,
want to bring
like,
them up so people can read them.
can I can't even put it up. I'm too
Why can't
drunk.
you put it up?
No, they're all looking. They can see it. No, yeah, like Race to the Bottom 2 seems to be with me. Terry's with me. Squid Coyote is saying like one thing I think during all this is that Jordan B. Peterson comment about guards at Auschwitz. Not only has the coup shown it to be true, but people will be proud of it. Uh, when men plant trees in the shade, they will never sit, bro. Yeah, no. Here's what I'm saying. We will absolutely not win this. We will not live to see the victory that comes out of this. That doesn't mean don't fight. That means pick up your sword and shield if your sword is words and your shield is complete obliviousness and no shame, and walk out there and get shot, and your life is over, but you'll live in infamy forever if you know what you're doing.
Okay.
And this is the thing I was mentioning about the C team. The A team is out there in Ottawa. They're doing it now. These are the real proper patriots physically putting themselves in harm's way. There's B teams all over the country. All right. They're not uprisings. They're peaceful protests
Right.
in Calgary, in Quebec. In Toronto's a fucking shithole, so it's not happening here. But the C team, I've resigned myself to this, and I've realized it's the only thing I'm good at is to be the internet fucking shit posters. That's the C team. Meme them until they cry, and then meme them crying. Okay,
It all helps, right? It all like every little effort.
maybe.
Add
You know what?
is a
I've tried
snow.
to
Is
be an
it no
upstanding.
no? Every tweet, every meme is a snowflake that eventually becomes the avalanche, right? If you watch Tim Pool, he talks about how we're kind of winning the culture war, even if the people who are losing don't realize they're losing it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
When you get more and more people on the left finally, coming out and saying, "Hey, this is wrong," and people they get canceled by the insiders in Hollywood, and then they go off and they start making movies in Tennessee, and those movies do well, and those movies become cultural touchstones. Then it's like it's a
Run, hide,
it's
fight.
a yeah, exactly. Run, hide, fight, shut in.
Great movie too. Like
What's that?
really good
I have
action
not
movie.
seen. I want to see Run,
It's
Hide,
so
Fight.
good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find it
A lot
somewhere.
of amateur actors, but they work really hard and it all comes together. It's
Well,
very good.
apparently the girl, the lead in it, she's getting offers like gangbusters now.
Good
Apparently,
for her.
yeah. But anyway, all those little things, they sort of they add up, right? And here's my thought: in V for Vendetta, the hero wears the Guy Fawkes mask. So I think in Canada, we need a Canada Man mask. Except I'm not going to go blow up Parliament or anything like that. I'll just put on the Canada Man helmet mask and walk around with my shield and and give my battle cry. You know what my battle cry is? Nobody knows what the fuck that is unless
That is
they're a
that
Gen
is so
Xer.
Canadian. That is
Yeah,
so ancient Canadian.
yeah. That's the other thing. Part of this character of Canada Man is he has to call his enemies hosers, but he has to do it in like the stereotypical,
What shove off hoser? Is
shove off, take off, hoser.
shove off hoser?
Take off, hoser. Yeah, he's got to do it in that kind of voice, right? Where he sounds like a serious, superhero kind of guy, but he's saying something so ridiculous as hoser.
Take off hoser.
Take off, hoser.
It's got to be hoser.
Hoser.
You really, really pronounce the O like sorry, right? The people are
Yeah,
so upset.
and he'll need to make speeches like V does, but very Canadian in pitch and tone. You know what I mean?
Every other word starts with C and is pronounced in a weird way.
Yeah, and every phrase is suffixed with the word a.
Eh?
And the battle cries, "Give her, bud."
Give her, bud. Oh, let her rip.
Yeah, so that's the hope.
And like, look. I didn't want to be this. I didn't. I aspired to be something more, and I've tried. Okay. I
What do you mean you didn't want to be here? What do you mean by that?
no. I didn't want to be this. I didn't want to be C team. Okay. I tried. I spoke to people personally, and it turns out I lack the charm or persuasiveness, or what did we call it with Pox? The way he said, no, I'm not manipulating them. I said irreparable charm. I don't have that skill. All right. That even though I am currently in the process of getting fired from my job because I no longer wear a mask, I was not directly responsible for the fucking mass quittings that have occurred at that job.
No shit, eh?
Yeah. I found out from people that I'm with whom I'm still in contact that they quit. They know a bunch of other people quit, and like,
Now, is it related to the restrictions or is it related to other shit?
see,
It just
that's what
all
I
piled
mean
up.
is we were stable for a long time, and then I started resisting, and I want to think I have something to do with it. I want to be like, yeah, no, I
That was
talked
me.
enough shit in real life and influenced people and was like, yep, and now I'm not wearing a mask. Now what? Yo, you gonna send me home? Guess what? You're like, I'm a fucking cog. I can be replaced. I know that. But suddenly, after I left, after I'm being kicked out, really,
Yeah.
bunches of people, there's like a mass exodus from this facility. Well, my shift, I was leading at minimum 15 to 20, maximum 50 people. They've lost 15 or 20 of those people.
Wow.
They just left. Now here's the thing is, for all the time that I made this noise and said, "Guys, you can stand with me. You're not alone." No one did. But as
Yeah.
soon as I wasn't there anymore, suddenly the exodus happens.
Yeah. And I guarantee you, like, well, I shouldn't say I guarantee you. One should be reluctant to guarantee anything.
Sure.
My suspicion is that it did have something to do with your stance, because while the higher ups are not going to explain to the people why it is you're not there, it's going to filter through. It's going to trickle through. Yeah, Irving stopped wearing a mask and they won't let him come to work. What? That's fucking horseshit. We only half wear these masks anyway.
I think it's simpler. Irving's a fucking workhorse. And without him, we all now have to do 20% more because when he's here,
that's
I
probably
get
part
to
of
do
it too.
20% less because he will bust his ass here. And you know what? I can't affect a multi-billion dollar, what's the word, multinational corporation, but I can
Right.
affect that facility with my absence. I know that. I know that is true.
Is that facility 24 hours?
Almost. It
So
is
they
like
don't.
it wasn't when I got there, but they were working towards it, and then suddenly it all started to fall apart for them.
Okay, so there's an open time and a closing time for that facility.
Yes, like I still have a key to lock up some nights, right?
Yeah.
Uh, that's how important I am. But yeah,
Because I mean, I don't know if you're aware of how the auto workers union started. Did you ever watch the documentary by what's his face? That fat guy, Michael Moore. Uh
nope,
Roger and Me?
nope.
Okay, so
Oh, fuck Michael Moore.
Roger and Me is about Flint, Michigan basically turning into shit when GM left and shut down a bunch of their factories.
Okay.
Um and he goes through the history of the American Auto Workers Union, right? And I'm probably getting the name wrong. It's probably not the American Auto Workers Union, but basically the big union that unionized all auto workers in the United States. They got their start in Flint, Michigan, with people doing a sit-in. Basically, a bunch of workers just said, "We're not leaving. We're sitting down. We're not leaving." So my thought is, what if a bunch of people, like-minded individuals, just said, "Okay, facility closes at 8 p.m., 10 p.m., whatever. Uh, we're locking the doors and we're barring them, and we're not leaving. We're just going to sit here until our demands are met."
See, now here's where again, I'm not a team. I don't have that capacity. If people aren't getting paid to follow, I am not apparently a leader of any kind.
Yeah,
When they're getting paid, they'll follow me. You know why? Because I'll fucking get out in front of them and do the goddamn work. But if they're not, I don't have the charisma.
right,
I'm a curmudgeon. I'm a fucking asshole. I know that. That's part of my what's the word? That's part of my value.
right.
That some leader needs this done, and I sit with him and I get out in front and I do the work. And if you cross me, I will give you all hell. And that takes all the heat off the actual leader. That's my value. So I can't really lead
You know
like a
what though? Here's the
revolt
thing
against
though.
that
Like,
leader.
here's the thing. Uh, nobody thinks they can until they do.
And yet I haven't. I've failed on multiple fronts, and
No,
now
you
I'm
have.
alone.
You have
And just
led.
no,
Listen,
nope,
you've
no,
led
no.
because
Hold
you
on, hold
said,
on,
"I'm
hold
not
on,
doing this anymore."
hold on,
You
because I
stood up.
actually never got here. I never got to this. Turns out, while I don't have that 18 capacity to get my ass to Ottawa or to lead these people right in a revolt against their company oppressor that's in league with the government that somehow isn't fascism. And I can't even get to a B team meetup because there's no such thing in Toronto. Toronto's the champagne socialist capital of Canada.
But that's the thing. If you did a meetup,
It
if you
would be
said,
like 5 of us, and they'd all be crazy conspiracy theorists that I'm like,
"No, no,
guys,
no,"
you gotta
here,
chill. No,
okay,
no, these are my friends. You're don't no no no. Don't sell me long. I'm not selling me short. I'm just telling you the
no, I'm
facts.
not. So I'm not. I'm
And
saying
I have come
I'm trying to present how easy a strategy it is.
no,
And then,
no,
let me just
no, I'm
lay
not
this out.
finished. Let me finish
Okay,
this
sorry, I
point.
thought you were done. Thought you were done
Turns turns
self-deprecating.
out turns out where I excel is the C team of internet shit posting. I am actually quite good at this. I've tried to be measured in my words and lead people in real life. I've
Yeah,
tried to be measured and like write everything out and make good content videos with a lot of analysis, a lot of facts, a lot of sources,
yeah.
and it didn't work out. When I decide, you know what? I'm just going to meme the shit out of Justin Trudeau. Oh, suddenly I get traction on the fucking internet
Yeah,
because I'm being an asshole. That's
yeah,
where I'm like the other day, I have had literally the equivalent of zero interaction even with people that follow me and are my friends in real life on Twitter and on
Yeah.
Facebook,
Yeah.
they just don't click my posts or they don't see them. And yesterday, I went fucking mad on Twitter, just fucking shit posting like fucking crazy,
Yeah.
stealing memes from 4chan's politically incorrect forum and posting them on the internet with my own take.
I haven't been on poll in a long time. I
Oh,
should go
it's
check it
so
out.
good. Here's what's ridiculous. I trust 4chan's bastion of anti-Semitism, politically incorrect, to give me accurate and quick information more than the mainstream media. Because despite the fact that they'll say, and this person is a puppet of the Jews, they'll actually give me the information, corroborate it from another source with video and photo evidence, so I can just dismiss the Jew thing and take the actual evidence and put it together and post it on Twitter. And suddenly, I have 60 odd likes when I get 0 likes on everything I've ever posted. Like, and you showed up tonight when I was just ready to take it to Catherine McKenna because I saw some tweet from her today and I was ready to give her all hell and I was gonna like just go mad. I'd like to share with you something that I posted today because if you guys notice, everyone watching, thanks for coming. Hashtag Blackface Hitler is literally trending on Twitter right now. Okay.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. Uh Wait, where screen 1, screen 2. Oh, okay, hold on. There we go. So this is the thing that I did today. All stolen from politically incorrect, mind you.
And I love that. That's great. That Liberal Party swastika, that's great.
Yes. And I challenged people on this. First person to shop that onto the armband wins the internet today. But can you read that? Is that readable?
Yeah.
I took some of your freedoms to protect the other freedoms. Also, we're taking the rest of your freedoms and seizing your assets and killing your dog. And for good measure, we're trampling that indigenous elder woman with a horse. Für ihre Sicherheit, which, as we all know, is for your safety in German,
Yeah.
the perpetual excuse for taking people's rights and freedoms in Nazi Germany. So
you know what? My thought is here's a couple of points of view or prescriptions, I might say, for people who want to do something. So, for instance, your work, right? I mentioned the sit-in thing, right? You ostensibly did that with the refusal to wear the mask, but you were alone in that. What I suggest is when you're in the lunchroom and you're talking about all this shit, you've told me that there's people telling you, yeah, man, I agree with you, but I can't lose this job. Or, yeah, man, I agree with you, blah, blah, blah. Good for you, man. I would stand with you. All that sort of stuff, right? You should invite them out for a drink.
I can't.
No.
What serves me?
Invite them out for a drink after work to talk about this shit. And the more and more people who go out for a drink to talk about this shit from your work, the more people you convince. And then eventually you convince a handful of people to say, okay, we're doing a sit-in. We're locking the doors. We're barring them so they can't get in.
Yep.
And until they lift their restrictions, we're not leaving. And then they have to call on the police to have you forcibly removed. On the political level, at the federal level, what Maxime Bernier should be doing right now is he should be reaching out to his former cabinet member, members of parliament that he worked with in the past in the Conservative Party and in whatever other party, the ones who are still there, because I know there are people that he used to be on the floor with that are in the Conservative Party who probably agree with him on more things than not. And he should be saying, look, do you want to stay with a feckless, leaderless Conservative Party? or do you want to join the movement towards, the principles that you actually believe in? And he should be basically trying to win them over to the PPC. If there was
And
ever a time to do it, now is the time. And I don't. Maybe he's doing that in the shadows. Maybe he's actually doing that quietly and nobody knows about it. But this is what he should be doing.
maybe Ajax, Costin, hello, thanks for coming.
Hey guys,
Yeah, he's probably doing it, and they're probably responding that way, and they will not relinquish ties to the Conservative Party. They just won't.
yeah. Well, maybe
Right?
I don't
They
know.
want their jobs, and they want to not be swept up in these incredibly broad and violating powers of the Emergencies Act, and they will be.
But here's the thing: the Conservatives are going to vote as a party against against ratifying or the implementation of the
Yeah.
Emergencies Act, even though they're already implementing it, even though it hasn't passed Parliament. But they're alone, right? The NDP are going to side with it. The Bloc Québécois will side with the Conservatives, maybe.
Yeah, but it won't be enough.
But it won't be enough. So
Okay.
the point is, at some point where the rubber meets the road, I hate to use euphemisms like that, but I like using euphemisms like
They're
that.
good.
Where the rubber hits the road, some of these Conservative Party members who actually do have conservative principles, because I'm sure there are some there, are going to have to realize, look, we're not going to do anything of value here until we make a strong stand. And making a strong stand is not simply voting against it, because voting against it is pointless.
Okay, see, Gray Pill, you think that they actually want to do something of substance and make a strong stance.
I'm saying that there are members who probably do,
but not enough. And like people who agree with me, there will be no traction. And what will happen is the emergencies powers will be used against Maxime Bernier because he supported the trucker convoy not only vocally, but he may have actually donated money to them.
Good for them.
He'll be gulagged. He'll be disappeared. Jordan Peterson will have been standing against the Liberal Party and therefore seen as with the convoy, and he'll be gulagged. And then they'll come for the rest of us. And you know what? The Conservative Party doesn't have the fucking balls to stand up against it. And the PPC doesn't have the numbers to stand up against it. There will be no violence from the protesters. There hasn't been. My God, they're an occupying terrorist force that hasn't burned down a building or killed a person. Right. Worst terrorists ever.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet, everyone that supports them, everyone on their side, everyone that's ever said, you know what, I understand their anger, they're going to be disappeared. And we're looking at a decade, 2 decades, 7 decades.
I think
of disappearing people.
I think, okay, here's the thing. I think that any action they may take against someone like Jordan Peterson is probably the worst thing they could do. Or Maxime Bernier. Maxime Bernier is for themselves, not for us, but for themselves.
Yeah,
if they did something against Jordan Peterson, it would completely destroy them immediately, overnight.
But Craig, trampling an Indigenous elder woman
doesn't matter.
With horses would have been the worst thing. Firing rubber bullets and tear gas.
But the media presents that as justified and it wasn't that bad and don't worry about it. The problem is that Jordan Peterson has reach and he has pull. So that Mohawk elder underneath the horse, she has no reach or pull. But Jordan B. Peterson has pull and he has a wide audience, right? So if they did something against him, he'd be speaking out about it, and then there would be enough people who also have reach and pull who would say enough is enough. And they have to be the Liberal Party, Justin Trudeau they have to be very careful about how they proceed and how it's going to be perceived. Now, when they've got the CDC on their payroll, trampling a Mohawk elder woman is not. It can be washed over, right? It can be massaged in the public perspective. But when you go after somebody with as big a following as Jordan B. Peterson and as much respect as he has, then that is a big mistake optically, and that's a big mistake on their part. He's already being called. You got Bill Maher already saying he's kind of like Hitler. Elon Musk calling him like Hitler. These are
Straight
now
to
they're
jail.
just throwaway comments, but all of those things, they're snowflakes that build to an avalanche. They all add up. And so when they do these stupid things where they go after big name people, they're only hastening their own demise, so to speak.
Zeppelinizer.
Gulags for all of us, bro.
Yep. And
Fucking
Craig,
Germany,
I
man.
want to believe you, except I just think we're too late.
Oh, I don't. It's never too late.
We've no. Sorry. It's too late for us, for you and I.
That way
And
lies nihilism.
no. Thanks, Rose. It's too late for you and I. But this country will set an example for others, and other countries won't fall into it. But we are going the way of China, of North Korea.
Yeah.
It's already over. And don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean don't fight. Fight like your life depends on it, because it does.
Well, I think you and I agree on more than we disagree, because I think
Sure.
we've already crossed the Rubicon. We're China now.
I think we've decided the outcomes might be different.
The only thing,
And you have hope for a better
I have a
outcome,
more
and I
positive view of the long-term outcomes, and I don't think it's going to be 7 decades before it turns around. I think it'll be a lot sooner than that, and I think part of that has to do with technology and the fact that we're still in the information age. Here's the thing: you got to consider that places like Soviet Russia and North Korea, they had their heyday before the internet was a thing. It's in the last 15, 20 years as information has been able to trickle into those totalitarian states where they no longer have real control over their population. You think the reason that China has started to allow people to, make money there as opposed to just, subsisting on farm goods and open companies? Yeah, the government gets their huge cut, but it has to do with the fact that people started to see what was going on in the West, and that's why the strange case of capitalism has made its way into China. In North Korea, nobody respects you say, oh no, they all love him and they all think he's a god, and they all think that Kim Jong-un is actually divine. They don't. None of them believe that. And the police can't even control their own population. They can't. People are just openly selling stuff in a black market that isn't supposed to be sold. And they're telling, when cops come up and try to come down on them, old ladies are telling armed cops to go fuck themselves. Get the fuck away from me. And they're doing it because they know they can't actually control the population at this point. So that's why I'm saying that tyranny is not stable, and it's even less stable in the information age, and it won't last as long as 7 decades in Canada.
I don't have the hope to say I hope you're right. I think
fucking doomer. You're a fucking doomer.
Yeah, and I think we had our chance. We had our chances, and now I see too many people on the ground that just believe whatever the legacy media, mainstream media tells them. And I've tried to say, look,
I know people in my own family that believe everything the legacy media tells them.
Me
When I
too.
try and tell them, you got to stop watching that shit. Did you saw my Getter post, right? About the conversation I had with my brother, right?
Yes.
True conversation.
Okay. Yes. No. And you share it. Give me the opportunity to share a similar conversation with a friend of mine.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it. I got to get on Getter. I'm not on Twitter. They kicked me off, and I can't get
Just give us the rundown. The QRD.
Okay, so let me find my post here.
Because like 5 years ago, even before 6 years ago, before I started my YouTube channel, I
Yeah.
was trying to talk to a friend of mine, and I guess red pill was not the term yet, but I was trying to red pill him and was like trying to give him some information, trying to give him some facts, some evidence, some videos, and he just like cut me off mid conversation, was like, I don't want to hear these facts. I don't want to look at these videos because I already believe something else. Literally, that's what he said. I already believe something else. And it took me like 4 more years to break through to that guy. And 4 years later is too fucking late, because 4 years from now, you'll have your assets seized. It's over. It's been over for a long time.
Maybe. Okay, you got to let me share this here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you folks can read that, but this is a conversation I have with my brother.
Ooh.
You can't trust CBC or CTV to. I can barely read it. You can't trust CBC or CTV to present the truth about what's happening in Ottawa. They're biased. My brother, in not so many words, so are the live streams. I'm like, 4-hour-long live streams, walking down the length of the street, capturing raw footage is biased. Yes, they're not showing the Nazis. And I literally did the face palm that you're seeing there in front of you.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you know what my profile says here in Chinese?
No, I have no idea.
It says, "Don't trust China. China is asshole."
China is that's very good. Very nice. Good Mandarin. Sure.
Anyway,
Well,
but yeah, you can't trust Canada anymore. Canada is asshole.
see, Canada's not an asshole. Trudeau and the Liberal Party and the NDP are an asshole.
Well, that's what that guy meant too. China as a country, as a governing body, is an asshole.
See,
Canada
but
as well.
that's the real problem, is China and the Chinese government are synonymous now.
So is Canada. We've hit that point.
And we have hit that point, and that's why I am fucking black-pilled.
All right. Well, I have this ability to predict the future. It's not a magic power or anything. I can just see the way things go. I'm of the mind that it's not going to last 7 decades. How about that? It might last a decade, might last 5 years, but I think it'll last. I think it'll. It can last anywhere from 1 to 2 years before things turn around.
No. I think absolutely, hands down, you are wrong. It will either last 2 to 3 months because people will wake up, or it will last for the next few generations. One or the other. There's no middle ground on this. Either everyone wakes up, rises up, or we're outnumbered and it's over.
So
this is what happened in Nazi Germany.
So what are you saying? It's not too late. We got a couple more months to turn it around.
Yeah. Yes.
So you're actually more white pilled than me, because I'm saying it's going to take a couple of years, because I think it's going to have a lot to do with what happens in the United States over the next.
I think it's
the midterms. The midterms are going to have an effect, and then also the presidential election in 2024. Those are going to have an effect on what happens here.
I think it's a snowball's chance, and coming from Canada, that's actually a pretty strong endorsement. Like, oh, a good hard packed snowball out of Canada, yeah, that'll last several minutes in hell. Don't even worry. You'll see.
Yeah, we know how to make snowballs.
Look at that little snowball go. Right.
You sounded so Canadian there. It's so fucking
funny. I did it on purpose, and it has a snowball's chance, but the snowball's chance relies entirely on optics. This is the conversation I had with Pox, and he was so mad about it until he seemed to like just give up in the
Yeah.
face of my nonviolence.
Yeah.
But he's one guy, and yeah, like
Well, here's the
the
thing. Like,
protest. No, no, hold on.
go ahead.
The
Sorry.
protesters have been nonviolent the whole time.
Yeah.
They're trying so hard to use McKenna's and Goebbels. Repeat it loud enough, long enough, they'll believe it. But there's no photo or video evidence of protesters being violent.
Right.
But it's a snowball's chance because the mainstream media without video keeps saying, oh, they're the protesters tried to take people's guns. MPs, the Liberal Party MPs have said that the protesters tried to take cops' guns. Yes, they say it on Parlview, Parlvu. That's Parliament View, but also, haha, French. Parlez-vous is you speak.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
but they're just lying. They're just telling the lie over and over again, and it will work eventually. If they don't, like, you have to win outright or you lose outright. There's no other way here.
Yeah.
And the only way is to remain nonviolent. And it's such a tiny chance that will work. That without civil war, this will be victorious. It's so small. It's so fragile. It's you read the comic. I really hope that speech in the movie, the toilet paper letter about one last inch is from the book because it's so good in the movie. That last inch, that one, I have my integrity and you can beat me and you can fucking like imprison me and I won't shed on that last inch of my integrity on my nonviolence in these protesters.
Yeah.
But it's an inch.
Yeah.
It's nothing else. And that inch has to win or it disappears for decades.
Yep. But there's always going to be somebody to stand up. There's always going to be somebody. And I mean, and I'm not saying that to excuse you or myself, because that somebody should be and could be us. There's always going to be that person who won't give up. And they, you know what? History remembers them positively, right? Until it doesn't. Until they start chopping the heads off the statues and knocking them. But it's I give it 2 years. I mean, I'd love to see it happen, like stop in the next month or so. If
6
conservative leaders will stand up and say enough of this, vote. We want a vote of no confidence, and I think, you know what, I think they're going to have to start employing mafioso tactics on the NDP. They're going to have to, take NDP. They're going to have to take Jagmeet Singh into a back room of Parliament and say, "You're voting with us, or it's over for you."
He's already voting with them.
No. I mean, when they do a vote of no confidence.
Who's voting no? Oh, the conspiracy theory. We never got to that. You want to hear the good conspiracy theory?
What's that? You can send You can send an email to the Governor General and they'll remove him.
No. This is so good. I've expressed to you and Pox that I expect the false flag any minute now. And it hasn't happened. I mean, there were some guns that got pulled out of Coots, right?
Yeah, so that was blown out of proportion too. Turns out it was just a guy with his guns in his car.
I mean, like, possible shitty ass false flag or some asshole who's crazy. No one had seen him at the border. No one knew who he was.
And no one's seen the guns
But
either.
he just showed up suddenly out of nowhere and they were arrested and had their gun immediately removed. Oh, and in Peterborough, suddenly the RCMP had a truck filled with 2,000 firearms that
Stolen.
was unsecured in a parking lot, and just, it was stolen. Roots of a false flag that never became a false flag. And I've been wondering, like, I made a whole video, the false flag is going to happen. Why didn't the false flag happen? Because Trudeau's not in control of this. Trudeau has not been given the order to order the false flag. And then I see on poll,
Okay.
conspiracy theory, nobody believe any of this. Justin Trudeau will be assassinated on 2/22/22.
Yeah,
Not
no.
by protesters, not by Canadian citizens. He will be assassinated by the WEF for failing miserably.
No.
Okay. Because you were telling me this the other day that Chrystia Freeland's actually the worst threat, that once he's out, she's in, and she will, the granddaughter of a full-blown SS officer, will be the worst thing that ever happened here. But
Well, I never said
also,
that. I said that she is Trudeau's handler.
right, except she's not. She's Trudeau's replacement after the WF assassinates him, because he hasn't pulled a false flag, because he is the false flag. JBP is right. He is a puppet. He is expendable, and he will be assassinated. That will be the excuse to open fire into the crowd. Chrystia Freeland, granddaughter of a Nazi, will take over everything, and
really
suddenly
granddaughter of a
all
Nazi?
of this will be justified. That's the conspiracy theory.
No,
I don't know if I
is she
believe.
is she really a granddaughter of a Nazi?
It has now been confirmed that yes,
No shit, eh?
SS officer. Not
What
even
is,
not some random Nazi soldier who was just caught up at 18 years old. At 30 something, he was a proper SS officer, broke his own fucking dog's neck to get in that fucking crew. And she's not only the granddaughter of him, but a student of Klaus Schwab's. Oh, what was the little school called? That WEF school where all these people were trained by Klaus Schwab.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh yeah,
The Frankfurt School?
nope. No.
That's where critical theory came from.
Yeah. No. But there was like a future world leaders camp, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they were all trained
Like
there.
Bohemian Grove, but focused on accounting.
Bohemian Grove, but focused on children and grandchildren of Nazis that were raised to believe they were better than other people.
No, I don't have a conspiracy theory that deep. No, I what I'm saying is that, again, this is a prescription. This is something that I'm advising that they do. If the Conservatives are worth their salt, which they're not, they would say, we're going to issue a vote of no before they bring it to the House. We're going to call for a vote of no confidence. Before they do it, they need to go to Jagmeet Singh and they need to say to him, you're going to vote with us on this, or else.
Yeah, but they don't have the power and they don't have the balls.
No, that's what I'm saying. They got to go full mafioso style.
But it's not going to happen. You know why?
No, I know
the
it's not going to happen.
In the street
listen. It's my dark
entirely
fantasy. It's my dark fantasy. It's my dark fantasy, Irving.
My God, Alexa Lavoie, the reporter for Rebel News, was shot with a rubber bullet. Okay, let's switch gears here before you decide you have to take off, because I know it's getting late. You said you can be here for a bit, and now it's like after 1, right?
That's okay.
Jesus,
I'm meeting with friends tomorrow, but I got to go visit my mom in the morning, and yeah. So, but it's not like it's Sunday of a long weekend. I don't have to get up super early tomorrow or anything. So
okay, good.
Fucking liars.
Yes, this is not even like an exclamation or a
Who's the Alexa
pejorative.
Lavoie?
Alexa Lavoie is
You said she's a rebel news
A
reporter.
rebel news reporter, French speaking, first language. Her English is really good.
Yeah.
And she was shot with a rubber bullet
Where?
in Ottawa.
I know in Ottawa. Where did she get hit?
I think in the shin,
Oh, okay.
and bad enough that she couldn't walk for some time.
Oh, wow.
Right. So it may be a bad sprain, minor fracture, like somewhere between knee and
Yeah,
shin.
yeah,
It
yeah.
looked like. I don't have the video on hand,
I'll look it up.
and for the viewers, you can find it.
You can
Right.
all look it up.
Avi Yemeni, if you guys know
Yeah, yeah.
Avi Yemeni in Australia, he's retweeted it, so you can find it. There's a lot of exposure there. But I mean, these fucking liars, absolute liars. Ottawa Police Service, first off, uh, Jesus Christ, have been just telling lies on their Twitter page that, like, you know, from the what where's my fucking window? Yeah, there it is.
You know, people are pushing for Viva Fry and Jordan Peterson to get into politics. I wonder if this is going to actually inspire them to do it.
Viva Fry ran for the PBC. Jordan
Oh, I
B.
know.
Peterson,
I
I
know.
don't think he will. I think he doesn't want that.
No, I
But
know. But
look,
I get it. Time for good people to stand up, right? Forces continue to launch gas at police. What?
yeah,
Gas at
yeah.
police?
Here, like absolute lies that they fucking liars. You shot gas canisters into a peaceful protest that's literally dancing in the street. They're having a fucking dance party. And they picked it up and threw it away from them as best they could. Oh, you attacked us. Like it's so fucking like okay. I haven't stopped sharing. Where the fuck did the share go?
You hit stop sharing.
Oh, good. Okay. Look, it's simpler than anyone wants to accept. If you look at two children in the playground in a scuffle, they're pushing and shoving, and one of them is calling student A in the school playground is shouting names and making demands, saying, "Do it, do it! Oh, you're a shithead!" And student B has finally stood up and is pushing back and saying, "Leave me alone." You know who the fucking instigator is. You know
Oh, yeah.
who's the fucking problem. It's
Yeah.
that fucking simple. 2 goddamn years, government has been calling us names, has been pushing on us and telling, do it, just fucking comply. And now people run out to the center of government and say, leave me alone en masse.
Yeah.
You know who the fucking problem is. You know what's going wrong here. If you don't know that, well, then you're a petty tyrant. That's
Yeah.
it.
And your and your machinations are unstable and they won't last.
They won't last more than 70, maybe 100 years.
Few months to 2 years. That's what I give it.
Yeah. Yes. No. 2 months to 100 years. One or the other. There's no middle ground.
I think it's going to be a few months to a couple of years. I do think what happens in the United States is going to have a huge impact on what happens in Canada.
I'll tell you this, when it comes down to it, I will make a big deal of it. When they come for me, I will, like, I'm not going to go out to places and instigate with, God, have you seen the Ezra Levant tweets about the leaked is it a WhatsApp? I don't know. It's a leaked community chat from RCMP officers
No, I've
who
not.
were just in like, oh, it's so wonderful how we get to be the jackboot and crush unarmed opposition. And oh, the way those mounted officers trampled those protesters. We should practice that technique. Like, yeah, it's fucking gross the way they celebrated it. And
You don't think they were being ironic, maybe?
nope, you look at the whole thread because somebody properly whistle blew and leaked it. They're literally celebrating each other.
They're saying it's so great that we get to be jackbooted thugs. Well,
Yes.
that sounds like self-deprecating. It doesn't sound like
No. Like, hey, wait till we bring the jackboot down on them. Haha. No. This is a kinder, gentler RCMP, lol. Also, yeah, no. That technique, they shared the video. They shared, hold on. Can I find it? Can I actually put this goddamn video into the share? I haven't been able to do
someone
it
needs
yet.
to make a meme right now. RCKGB.
Yeah, I know, right? And then I lose it every fucking time. Yeah, for some reason, I can't share this video. Also, I can't get back to the goddamn feed. But yeah, no, they were basically just like in awe of the quote unquote technique of plowing down protesters with cavalry.
Yeah.
You know, for lack of a better word, because there's no better word for this. Like, we can make jokes about the fat pants and the stupid hats when you see a Mountie or two
I
just
like
sitting
them.
around.
Hey, I like the RCMP uniform. I think it's
Sure.
an awesome looking uniform.
But some people don't think of it that way. And Jesus Christ, I can't get out of this. And you know, there are jokes that can be made about the appearance of it. But when you put 6, 10, 12 Mounties across with their riot gear and their helmets, you're looking at medieval cavalry. They're not riding the average horse.
No.
All right. The average horse is 9 to 1100 pounds. They're riding war horses. They're riding 12 to 1500-pound horses and a 200-pound officer wearing 40 pounds of armor.
Yeah.
That's not the same thing. And you know what? If you took the smallest horse, if you took a pony and a child and ran it into an adult, you had better go call the goddamn emergency response because they may be badly injured. Like,
Right.
these animals are no fucking joke. And I can't share the goddamn video. I can't share. Like,
Why?
I don't know. Maybe I'm a little drunk. Maybe it's just not working out right.
Okay. I meant to ask you. So you and I talked on the phone last night. That's right. Irving Twin and myself, we interact outside of YouTube. We went to dinner.
IRL friends forever.
We're IRL friends. It took us like a few years before that ever came to be. But yeah, not a lot of people know this. But Irving, myself, and my wife went out to dinner at that Zucchini's Cucina last
Lovely
Saturday.
woman. Very
Great
nice
food.
lady. Very, very, very nice to meet her.
Great food. I had the. I didn't go for the burger this time. I had the boar. Was it the boar shoulder? Boar shoulder pasta, whatever hell.
That's a fancy way of saying pork.
No, it's a boar. Anyway,
no, look. If it says
I want to ask
boar,
you. So last night we were talking
boar, that's special.
What's that?
If it says wild boar, that's special. But boar just means pork.
Just means male pig. I know.
Yeah.
But last night we were on the phone. I asked you about the two people who got trampled. You said one of them possibly died. The other one is the woman is okay. So the Mohawk elder, I guess, is okay.
Hold on.
But the guy may have
Okay.
died.
Okay means her shoulder's dislocated and she is alive and well.
Yeah.
But absolute fucking liars. OPS, Ottawa Police Service, said no one has been injured. No, she was injured, and that's a bad fucking injury. And a woman her age will not recover from that. Like, yeah, she has that injury forever. Oh, and the guy that may or may not have died. Again, I don't have confirmation on this.
Yeah.
But if you, I'm sorry I can't share the video. I'll post it to Twitter. Go follow my Twitter feed, guys.
And yeah, follow him on Getter too, because he'll be banned from Twitter before too long. They banned me years ago, and I'm still not back on Twitter.
And what they're saying is someone had a heart attack after or immediately during this cavalry charge because they're properly
wow, what are the chances? That's such good timing.
No, yeah, and if you watch the video, you watch the aerial footage, you watch all of these, you can see very clearly, despite what some assholes say about horses won't trample people, you know what? When they don't want to step on weird, squishy shit, but if they have no choice, they will plow their hoof into whatever's underneath them.
Yeah,
and
they don't have that
the
much
way
control.
it looks, that guy gets fucking stomped middle of the chest.
Yeah.
And he died of heart attack.
So,
nothing to do with being stomped.
So it has come out that someone their official statement is that someone died of a heart attack from the protest.
Yeah. Yep. No. Someone died of a heart attack during that intervention. They admit that, or they did at least.
And it wasn't the Mohawk elder, so it's reasonable to assume it was the guy who got trampled.
Yes. So two people, and it's very like, I wish I could show you the video. I wish I could share it. You can see the way the horses come in, the way the line breaks up, and there's one guy. He turns his back to the horses, and he's basically trying to shield other people from the horses. And suddenly, another horse goes wider than the rest of the line that's charging through, plows him down, and you can see from the aerial footage, he is underneath those horses. So the horses kicking and jumping and trying to escape them, and someone threw a bicycle, which is a fucking lie. Fucking liars. But it seems like he got properly goddamn stomped by the ass end of a horse.
Yeah.
And oh no, nothing to do with the stomping in the middle of his chest.
Yeah,
He's probably got COVID. He had long COVID. Yeah.
It's a COVID death. They're going to mark it as a COVID death.
It's so fucking. And okay, so we're on this tick, and I'm sure you have to go soon. I was watching not only the live streams, and at this point, I don't feel I need to watch live streams to claim everything coming out of the media and the liberal MPs is a lie, because I've seen enough to know they're lying outright. OPS is lying, MPs are lying, and the mainstream media is lying. So I've just sort of collected from Parleview a couple of names and their specific lies. If I can share here, do you mind?
Please do. I just looked at myself and I'm like, oh my God, I look like my brother. I really look like my brother right now.
That's a good thing. All right. Genetics are real.
Except he doesn't wear a mustache.
He should, though. You should both trim it a little bit.
No, I like it. I like it bushy.
No. Bushy's fine, but just make it like less wide.
I like the wood.
No. Make it narrow, like barely wider than your nostrils. I think that would suit you.
You know what I
Because
think I'm going to
obviously,
do? I was joking with my buddies. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grow a unibrow. Okay? Grow a unibrow. Give myself a toothbrush mustache. A soul
Yes.
patch that goes all the way down here. Keep the unibrow, shave off the rest of my eyebrows, and then do a mohawk that's the width of the toothbrush mustache.
So it's just hair like this.
Yeah, a hairline right down the middle. I think that'd be fucking hilarious. Anyway, go ahead.
Fuck Hitler. Fuck you. Fuck everybody. That's the hair.
That's right.
That's magic.
It's not really a Hitler mustache if you have a soul patch as well.
No, but it's better than Hitler. It's
Yeah.
like Hitler, but also
And
fuck
for the record,
every other person.
it's not a
in the world.
Hitler mustache. It's called a toothbrush mustache. Hitler just happened to wear it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm with you on that. I'm gonna do some weird shit with my. See this? I did this myself, eh?
You
My
cut
hair-
your own hair.
Yeah.
Good on you, man. Looks good.
Not-
You do a better job than
not
I do. I
bad.
tried to cut my own hair. It looked fucking terrible.
Nah,
But anyway.
I like it short though, so I can get away with a lot of shit.
I like
that
mine
goes
short
wrong.
too. I need a haircut. My hair has gotten
Ooh.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Let me come by. I'll take care of you.
There you go.
It won't be professional, but no one will notice.
It'll look better. And hell, I got a lot of baseball caps, so that's all right.
All right. Some of these MPs were talking about being fucking harassed and being fucking threatened and all this. So let me make it very clear. I hate all these people. And if it were to come down to it, at this point, after seeing how they've supported these horrific police actions that are, hurting non-violent protesters because there is no video evidence, no photo evidence of protesters being aggressive or assaulting officers. If they were all held on trial for telling lies about them, I would be finding them guilty. Absolutely. Including Mark fucking Garrettson.
Who's that?
A Liberal MP. Okay. He repeatedly asked conservative MPs about, what you want to call on the prime minister who didn't speak with the protesters. Well, why didn't you call on, first off, provincial premiers who are outside their jurisdiction to go talk to the Coots border crossing protesters? Like, why didn't you call on Jason Kenney? Why didn't you call on Doug Ford to go to Windsor? Okay. Coots and Windsor are literally 4.5, 5 hours and 8 hours drives from their seat of government in the province. And why didn't they talk with them? Well, you know what? They did. They talked with them from afar and said, you know what? You guys, I understand your anger. I'm not happy about this either. And you know what? Go home, end these blockades because you're right. And we're going to roll back these restrictions. We're going to end this because it's ridiculous. No one called on Scott Moe because Scott Moe in Saskatchewan, he was like, you know what? Before anything gets out of hand here, I know it's bullshit. We're ending these ridiculous restrictions effective immediately. Okay. 11:59:59, it's over. Give us time to do paperwork. He literally did it same day.
Yeah.
What a great guy.
So you're moving to Saskatchewan then?
I can't stand the cold. As a Canadian, that seems shameful. Like I
wouldn't wish Saskatchewan on anybody.
No, what a magic place too. Like, I mean, Kelly Day Lamb, young lady, well done, so good there, and all her people. I'm so happy for her and all. Like, magical place. It really is the center, like the physical center of Canada,
Yeah.
and beautiful and untainted by the left-right bullshit. Okay, it's just an empty, quiet place for Canadians to live. We don't have that luxury anywhere else, apparently. Uh, calling out
What did you say? His name was Garrettson? Is this the guy who said that?
Garrettson,
Okay,
Mark
so CMAC is
fucking
making some
Garrettson.
points here. CMAC is making some points. Garrettson is a slumlord. He rents a house to students in a neighborhood where it is illegal, but no one enforces the law anymore. Then he moved across the bridge and pushed policies to raise his property values to get rich off his position. He's corrupt. They're all corrupt. That's the problem. Politicians are all corrupt.
And here's my problem. I don't give a shit if he's corrupt. I give a shit if his corruption bleeds into the goddamn politics, which apparently it has.
Well, that's why you get into politics.
Be a slumlord. I don't care. Help.
No, but you get into politics so that you can be a more effective slumlord. That's why you do it.
Look, there are poor people and they need a place to live. If you can give them a cheap place to live and make a small profit doing it, go ahead. But if you want to be a cunt on this level, no, now I disagree. Look, money needs to pass hands. People need to get goods and exchange money for them to make shit happen.
Yeah.
But if you want to suddenly say, oh, why didn't these other people that are not associated with you on the federal level not behave the way you're demanding the PM behave? Here's what's really fucked up is because 4.5 hours to 5 hour drive or an 8 hour drive, there are no flights to Coots. Coots is like at the tiniest place in the world. It doesn't exist. There's no airport. Windsor? Does Windsor have an airport?
Yes.
And if it does, it's still not going to be a place that Doug Ford is going to get up and fly.
No, but
especially
people don't use it. They drive into Detroit to use their airport.
Especially when the premiers basically said, you know what? We're hearing you guys. Calm down. Everyone take a step back. The cops are going to be cool. We're going to ask you to be cool. And we'll give you the plan, at the very least, the plan to end the restrictions about which you're protesting. That's so they did talk to them. They did work with them.
Yeah.
So demanding the prime minister talk to these protesters, he could literally step outside and yell, hey, what's up? And he refused. Like literally, the building is right there. So Garrettson, Mark fucking Garrettson, comparing those two things is not only completely disingenuous, it is a fucking lie.
Well, even if he didn't want to sit down and meet with them, he could have done like a Zoom call or something. Right? He could have done a Zoom call with them.
You have to step outside the building and say, guys, I'm not ready for this. I'm going to talk to you. I've got a thing. But he can literally step out the door of his workplace and address them, even in the smallest way. And he didn't. You know what he did? First fucking thing?
He insulted them.
He insulted them and ran away.
Yeah.
And he ran away. Oh, I have COVID. I'm out.
No. Before that, though,
he's been insulting them for years.
He has no interest in talking to them. They hold unacceptable views. Become ungovernable.
I've got to get my shirt. Hold the stream.
Okay, he's gonna get a shirt. Become ungovernable, people. That's the only way you can fight back. Just become ungovernable. Don't wear masks. Just go into stores without wearing a mask. And when people bother you, ignore them. When people try to bother you, just ignore them. And if somebody who works at the store asks you to put on a mask, just say no, thank you. And if they say, well, if you don't put on a mask, you're going to have to leave, just say, well, I'm almost done shopping anyway. Just buy your shit and go. Become unrakeable, says Box Toxic. Exactly.
Yes.
It's on you.
No, he's seen the meme.
It is a little big. You're right. Small fringe minority with unacceptable views. Proud member. I have one too. Mine's in black. So yeah, it is a bit big, eh? So I should have got you a medium. Oh well.
I am not nearly as large as my personality suggests.
Well, here's the thing. I wear extra large, right? And I figured he's smaller than me, so a large would probably fit him. I don't think I've ever worn a medium shirt.
You know what's funny is people who've stood next to me have said, "You're like what, 6'1"?" No. I'm 5'10", even in my boots. And apparently, yeah, no, I'm just loud and angry, and it makes me seem larger than I am. So I do appreciate the vote of confidence out of you. I really do. But yeah, no, I'm fucking swimming in this thing. It's great. It'll make a great flag and a nightwear when I go to bed. I'll sleep in this thing.
Well, you could
It's the
always it's poly cotton blend, right? Pre-shrunk. But if you washed it in hot and dried it on hot, it would shrink for you.
did that already. It didn't
Oh,
work.
really? It's still too big? Sorry, man.
No, it's not your fault. No, I love a good gift, and this is one of them. And I will wear it. It's the only fucking maple leaf that I will wear. I actually found a way to do strike text in all of my social media. So now, angry drunk Canadian reads angry drunk Canadian with strike through it. Fringe minority following.
Nice.
Um,
Cool.
yeah, and that was inspired by this T-shirt. So thank you very much for that.
You're welcome, good sir.
Now, where were we? We were shitting on fucking MPs.
Yeah, you had Garrett's in. There was probably a couple more you wanted to go through.
Oh, I've got 5 more.
Okay.
Jennifer fucking O'Connell. Again, Liberal MP just straight up lying about the arson attempt in the apartment building. They continue to push that lie. McKenna and Goebbels push it loud enough, long enough, and people will believe it. There is zero evidence to support the claim that convoy protesters tried to burn down an apartment building. In fact, if you look deep enough, there is evidence that shows that tenants of the apartment building conspired to engage in this action and blame convoy protesters for it.
Of course.
And the clearest evidence, absolutely undeniable, is that the photos, the still images that come from the security cameras in that building, you can see off both people who are apparently trying to burn it down are wearing fucking face masks, that they have their paper masks hanging off their ears. No person in the fucking convoy protest is wearing a paper mask ever.
Yeah.
Not ever again.
Except War Machine when he was in disguise.
Which goes against the idea that some tenant came across them and said, "Who are you?" And they said, "We're with the protest." So if you're in disguise, you're not going to just go ahead and out yourself.
Yeah.
Already just complete bullshit. What a complete fucking lying asshole. Jennifer fucking O'Connell, lying asshole.
Yeah, that makes no sense, Zeppelinizer. They want me to wear a mask when I go to the dentist when they're literally going to look inside my mouth after. It makes zero sense.
Right?
So you don't infect anybody in the waiting area. It's so stupid. No, and this is the thing. Like, I'm watching people on talk about, well, I think the mask mandate should be the last things to leave. Why? They should be the first thing. They should have gone immediately out the window.
Look,
as a matter of fact, the policy should have been always from the very beginning. As a matter of fact, this is how it's been done for years before the pandemic. If you're feeling sick, wear a mask. If you have to go out in public and you're feeling sick, like you have symptoms of cough and sneezing, wear a mask.
Bullshit. No, I strongly disagree. As a person who has not worn a mask religiously and only sort of kind
If
of
you
worn it.
want. I'm not saying you should have to. I'm saying if you want,
No,
where that's the only time you should wear a mask logically.
I mean, maybe, but it's not really good. The best defense is just don't go out,
Sure.
right? And
But if you
I
had to
don't.
go out, I always sneeze in my arm or cough in my arm. I've been doing it for years.
Sure, and I sneeze for no reason or for some kind of allergy maybe,
Yeah.
and I don't know what's happening. But when I don't feel well, I self-isolate already. Like, all the precautions I've already taken because God, Craig, I don't like to get sick, man. I don't get sick a lot, and when I do, it's the worst goddamn thing
Yeah, men
ever.
don't like getting sick. I don't like getting
Eh
sick either.
oh,
You know when I sneeze, I get one of those loose whistle boogers.
oh,
You know what I mean? You
oh,
know those
yeah,
boogers
where
that are
it's
like
like
they're
it's
loose in your
on your
nose
arm.
and they whistle when you breathe in through your nose, and then it makes me sneeze. I hate it. So because I sound like an idiot because I'm whistling through my nose because there's a loose booger and it's acting like a reed on a fucking saxophone.
No,
And
I
then
get one of those out of nowhere where it's like, "Oh, I have to sneeze. Oh my god. Do you have a Kleenex? No. Oh, whoop," and
yeah,
then there's a glob on my arm, but
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
I buried it. Like I did my job. And you know what? When I'm feeling sick, I don't go out. I just contain myself. And part of it is that I don't get sick enough. So when I get sick, it's really bad, and
yeah.
I don't wanna give it to anyone. So the
Sure.
moment I don't feel right, I'm like, "Nope, I would not I would not wish this on my worst enemy." I would kick skulls and, you know, go to jail for fighting, but I won't make another person sick. It's not like, oh god. So the last time I was really sick, okay, I've had, like, a head cold, but the last time I was sick was almost 6 years ago. I was in bed for 4 days, and not out of, like, "Oh, I'm such a pussy." I had a proper 103 fever
Oof.
for 4 straight days, and when I got out of bed after the fever broke and I was soaked, right? Like, finally, I started sweating in this weird way that, like, my sheets were soaked, my clothes were soaked. I had a good shower and stood on the scale. I lost 16 pounds.
Wow.
I hadn't eaten. I hadn't been able to, like, put down anything other than water. That's how I get sick. And also, apparently, I don't die from this, where other people will. So I only get sick when it's actually going to kill everybody else. And that's actually true. That the flu kills what, 60,000 people in the US and Canada every year?
Yeah.
I don't get the flu
Yeah.
unless it's going to kill 100 plus thousand people.
Yeah.
And that when you look back and it's like, oh, 100,000 people died from flu. That's the flu I got.
Yeah.
That's the one that put me in bed for 4 days.
Yeah.
And that's the one I survived.
I don't typically get the flu. I might get a bad cold. The worst cold I had was back in February 2020, and I think it was the coof, to be honest. And yeah, it knocked me on my ass for days. But I
Yeah.
got to make a lightsaber, so I don't care.
See, and like I've alluded to this before that I've had some
Pox sent you a Discord
yes,
DM.
yeah, I'm looking into it now. 15 updates. What the fuck? Okay, so I've alluded to less than savory behavior in some of my late teen years. Like everyone goes through a phase, right?
Yeah.
Stupid, shitty phase.
Yeah.
And so I was broke without a job, maybe selling some drugs to make some money. Uh, Money wasn't always around. And the thing I wanted to do was just have some cigarettes and maybe some weed money. When cigarettes were scarce, there used to be this thing outside of public places, malls, restaurants,
Yep.
like a great big planter that you
Yep.
could fit a small tree, except it was just filled with sand and cigarette butts would just be stuffed in it.
Yep.
People would come out of their fancy, I don't know, bank building
Yep.
and take 2 draws and shove their whole cigarette in there. And I would look and go, mine.
Yeah. Sure. Why not?
And I would smoke their cigarette. Now, when things got tough, man, when those reserves were running low, I'm ashamed to admit it. I would just scour the ground for the least stomped smoke. And there you'd find a half smoke with very little boot print. And you'd
Yeah.
pick it up and smoke that too.
Ditch smokes, gutter smoke cigarettes.
Gutter
My
smoke.
dad used to
baby.
do it. My dad used to do that. Him and his buddy Frankie D'Ambroso.
Don't try to justify it for me.
I'm just
okay?
saying, you're not
This is
alone.
fucking gross. And no one should ever do this.
Now here's the thing. My dad was like 12 years old. You know what else he told me? Back in the day, when he was like 10 or 11, 12 years old, he could go to the theater, right? Go down to the theater on a Saturday, and there was a little convenience store right next to the theater. They used to sell the kids 2 cigarettes for a nickel.
Whew.
They'd sell them to like 10 and 11-year-olds.
That was still legal then.
Well, I don't think it was legal, but nobody fucking cared.
Look, but I'll tell you this. While I'm not proud of it, okay, between 15 and maybe 19, rationing the money and suddenly coming to a better realization that maybe I could earn some money and buy my own goddamn cigarettes.
Yeah.
And you know what really set me off is one time picked up a nice juicy butt off the fucking floor, shoved it in my pocket, took it home, and when I lit it up and smoked like 2 fucking draws, suddenly I had this urge, and I couldn't even hit the toilet. I hit the fucking tub and just vomited into the tub.
Why?
Whatever reaction I had to that particular butt,
Huh.
someone else's fucking stomped fucking smoke. God, I'm sharing this live. There's
Probably had syphilis on it or something.
there's 14 people watching.
Wow, that's amazing considering that it never
No,
got.
this is terrible. This is gross. Why am I sharing this with all of you fucking cunts? Christ.
Hey man, everybody wants to hear all your dirty horror
And,
stories.
and after that, like I was like, nope, I'm not that's not right. No, I'm not doing that anymore. I could equate it to a long day at work, all right? That like it's hot summer in Toronto and I was busting my ass and maybe I was just sick in any draw of any cigarette. But no, I equated it in my mind to that's the last time I ever fucking do that.
Well, if it makes you feel better, and we're talking about the sins of our past, I killed a hobo in 1998.
Don't. I'm drunk. I'm going to say something that I shouldn't.
And it's like I didn't even think about it. I just killed him. I just like there's a homeless guy. Who would miss him? I just killed him. With my bare hands.
No, that's American Psycho.
I have no idea. I'm just joking around. Of course, I never killed a hobo in 1998.
I hope not. But like, yeah, no. But you know what? After that, I decided no more ground butts, dude. Like I'm done. I'm just gonna buy cigarettes or not smoke. And after that, I don't get sick. I don't get sick except for every 6 or 7 years. And only the worst goddamn flus that kill 100,000 people.
Yeah.
That's what makes me sick. No other thing does.
So
And
yeah, when it's a really bad flu year, that's when you get sick. Yeah, I never get the flu shot, and I never get the flu.
but I'll tell you this: MERS, SARS, SARS-CoV-2. No, fuck you. That shit can't infect me anymore. I am immune. I've been immune since I was 18, 19 years old. Um, no, no. That pussy shit, you need a proper deadly influenza to get to me,
There
buddy.
you go. We got a
Like,
couple of people who I don't recognize. Well, for one, 420 bong weed beer.
welcome, 420 bong weed beer.
He says, "Fuck you if that's true." LOL. It's not true. Bong weed 420 bong weed beer. I did not kill a hobo in 1998. With my bare hands. Anyway,
Mac. Oh, you seem familiar, but I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for coming.
who's C-Mac? Yeah, he's been around for a while. I've seen him
Yeah.
before. Costin's here every time, which is great. It's good to see Box. I don't know who Zeppelinizer is, but you seem to know him.
Yeah, no. Old familiar, and somehow we got disconnected, but glad to have you back.
For you guys who I have not seen before, I also have a YouTube channel. It's just called Craig Bragg. You can find me on YouTube as Craig Bragg. The logo is it's like a caricature of me in a blue circle. 5'10" isn't a manlet, bro. It's not. 5'10" is not.
No.
It's average height, to be honest.
5'10" is king of the manlets. But yeah, no, you know what? You were sending me this shirt, and I was like, is he sending me a Craig Bragg shirt? Because if he didn't, I'm gonna buy one.
I do have a Craig Bragg shirt on my Redbubble.
I know, and I want like the hot blue with your face on it. Like I really, I want that.
See, I like the red one with my face on it because the logo's in blue, right?
No. I like the blue. The blue's nice.
Oh, there you go.
Blue.
Yes, I also have a Redbubble store. If you search Craig Bragg on Redbubble, you'll find my shirt. I think it's Redbubble.
And
okay, it's either Redbubble or Teespring, one of the two.
The next 6 minutes and Burnside, have Redbubble stores that have some shit to do with me, but
you know what I would love if somebody with artistic talent, more so than what I have, if somebody did like a cartoon of me in my car ranting with a little Wolverine thing hanging there swinging and my dog in the background. If you could do like a caricature cartoon of that, very dynamic, I would put that on a shirt. Absolutely.
See, and my whole thing was these guys went out of their way to do me some art.
Yeah.
So let them make the dollars.
Pox holy. Oh, you know how he found you? 420 bong weed beer? I typed in blackface Hitler and found this stream.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I worked so hard on some of my blackface Hitler jokes.
Awesome. That's great.
See what I mean? I'm an internet shit poster. I'm the C team. A team's out in Ottawa. B team are flooding the cities. C team, no. I'm just gonna sit in my fucking basement and smoke weed and get drunk and fucking shit post. Thanks for coming. It does have an effect. I know it does, but we're all doomed anyway. It doesn't matter. But thanks for coming. I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad I reached someone. That's all. Okay. Where was I? I have a list. List.
You've gone through two of them, it looks like.
Craig, if you have to go at any point, let me know. I will just drunkenly rail at this point.
No, I'm good, man. I'm having a good time.
My man.
Because there's new people in the chat, I am going to shill my.
Yeah. You got privileges, right?
I believe so. Let me find your stream here.
And Pox, what are you sending me? This is a video out of nowhere. Like, I can't tell what I'm looking at here. It's a parking lot with snow in it. That's just Canada.
There's my channel, folks. You new people, if you want to find me, it'd be nice to break 400 subscribers. I've been watching a lot of Lauren Southern's content lately too. Eh? She's been putting up more and more stuff.
Yeah, she's been doing a good job. She actually went live from Surrey, right?
Yeah, she's out in BC. Ugh.
Yeah, and like BC is the fucking Portland of Canada. That's the ACAB Antifa fucking central.
Yeah,
like Toronto's the Champagne Socialists. They're the proper commies. Out there, they're the violent, like disregard for all authority and law, and even sensibility. And
sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at these comments. Greater Ajax says, Legend says he still stalks the alleys of Chicago with his wooden rifle while wearing his assless chaps at Pox Toxic. I don't know who you're talking about there, Greater Ajax, but that's a funny visual. For the record, all chaps are assless by nature.
by definition.
By definition.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to share the goddamn video, Pox, about the old lady that got trampled, and I'm either too drunk or StreamYards is too limited to let me do it. So, did I say hi, Ajax? Did I yell that at some point? Hello, Ajax. Thanks for coming, my guy. God. We had this conversation a while ago about like, what's the word? Trying to inspire people in our local communities and get it together. And it's like, nope, I don't have it. I'm sorry, Pox. I'm sorry, Ajax. I'm not capable of it, and I need to escape now. I wanted so badly to be that voice. I wanted to be that A team, maybe that B team. It turns out all I can do is internet shitpost. So Jennifer O'Connell, the liar, arson. Yeah. No, that's a lie. God. And like the Ottawa Police Service Twitter feed is just plain old lying.
Oh, Pox Toxic says video. Oh, video is UN planes at an airfield that appear to have landed just before the police show of force in Ottawa. So the understanding is that they're not local. They're actually UN troops.
So I don't know about UN. That may be possible, but I do know RCMP were flown in. I do know that York Regional were flown in. They wear their goddamn patches. I also shared with Pox. Did I share it with you? The York Regional cop who just suddenly is like looking around and suddenly, like the comedian on stage, just tips backwards. Because guess what? Ottawa Police Service and RCMP are exempt from vaccine.
From vaccine, yeah.
But York Regional isn't. And that guy just fucking collapsed out of nowhere. That's
okay. They're all wearing masks, so everyone's safe.
Yvonne fucking Jones. This is another Liberal MP out of Labrador, if I'm not mistaken, who's just going on railing in her 10 minutes in today's Parliament. Oh, I'm all for free speech, but some things should be suspended or censored, don't you know?
Don't you know, eh? Love it.
And just like, oh yeah, no, like misinformation. Oh no, we have to stop that. What misinformation?
Yeah.
And oddly,
Where's the misinformation? These guys don't want to be vaccinated. They don't want to be forced.
Oddly,
They don't want to be forced to be vaccinated.
yeah, and guys like Jon Stewart
Yeah.
have been coming out lately and saying, like, look, because I have nothing to lose, I can claim this. That years ago, when I was talking about the Bush administration's overreach and all that, that could have easily been called misinformation. So maybe we should not talk about this like it's some sort of criminal act. And you have this weird thing where the fucking JIDF and the Jewish celebrity is siding with goddamn politically incorrect from 4chan, the worst anti-Semitic shithole of the internet next to Stormfront. Like,
Are they real? Okay, there's definitely anti-Semitism on poll,
yeah, for sure.
but I think a lot of times they're just being edgy. I don't think they're actually anti-Semitic.
Sure,
They're probably
maybe
are people who are legit anti-Semitic, but I think a
we
lot of
also,
them are just being edgy.
maybe, but also we have this weird thing where the Israeli people are having their own mock protest or sympathetic protest where they're driving convoys to the center of their government to support the Canadian protest, because that's what no one in Canada seems to be recognizing, is that
there's protests all over the world.
This has sparked a worldwide movement.
Yeah.
That everywhere in the Western world, even in Israel, in Brazil, in Denmark, they're just driving trucks for no reason. They already have their restrictions lifted.
Yeah.
And they're driving
doing it in solidarity. Yeah.
Yeah. And Australia, that is hardcore lockdown, had huge movements into Canberra.
And and in New Zealand as well, those what do you call it? Those, what are they? Maori. Those folks, they went in there and did their big traditional chant, dance, singing in solidarity protest,
which is fucking fantastic.
It's pretty cool to watch. They look like a bunch of fucking madmen.
Like, oh, that's some, like, every move is killed. That's Krav Maga for Maori people. It's beautiful. Oh,
anyway,
except they have weapons.
No,
but like, I mean, there are so many places in the world that are supporting this in principle. Forget, trust the science. Trust is the opposite of science. Let's all, but you know what? There are tons of people everywhere that are like, you know what? Freedom. And not freedom to infect your grandma. Freedom to make my own goddamn decisions.
Right.
That's like, Craig, your mom, your dad may not be particularly well off. I'm not trying to infect them. I don't want to demand they come sit with us at a bar or a restaurant.
Right.
I am one of the most germophobic people there is, because the only times I get sick, it's incredibly bad for me, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. So I take those precautions anyway. All I want is the government to step the fuck out. And that's circling back to that idea that you see these two kids pushing back and forth. One of them is saying, you're a bad person and you have to do what I say. And the other is shouting, leave me alone.
Yep.
You know where the problem is.
Yep.
All right. And oh, yeah, Jennifer fucking O'Connell, Liberal MP, was talking about the bullying and the harassing. We've been bullied and harassed for 2 fucking years.
Yep.
By government, not by a virus, by the goddamn government. And now we're standing up and saying, leave me alone. We, not we, the A team is doing that. We, the C team, are just being cunts. But now that there's a group saying, leave me alone, They're calling them bullies.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the goddamn education system is zero tolerance. No. Some assholes have it coming. That
I've always said that bullies serve a valuable public service.
you know what though? When we suppress the ability for the tormented to fight back,
Yeah.
that's where we run into trouble.
Yep. It's true.
Bullies do a public service once they get their fucking mouths punched in. All right.
No, I mean there are certain instances where people should be trying to discourage people from behaving badly, and I don't think that these people should be threatened to stop behaving badly, but uh, ridicule is a form of bullying. Mockery is a form of bullying.
Sure.
These things are valuable. These things are important. And if you're gonna mock somebody when they act out in a way that is socially unacceptable, uh, I think that's a good instance of bullying, personally.
Look, Pox was giving me hell about the nonviolent idea with the protests against the government and letting police just fucking walk in and push people back, and he's not happy about it. I'm not happy about it either, but I'll tell you this: there comes a point where you have no other recourse. We haven't hit that. That's what I'm saying with this.
Yeah,
They haven't hit that point.
agreed.
And I'll also tell you there was a bully in my class who bullied me, all right?
Yeah.
And over a period of months, one time he just fucking I didn't even see it coming. I was out in the snow talking to somebody else, and suddenly my whole world went white.
Did you
And
do the snowball?
no,
Oh,
my whole world went white. And when I recaught my focus, I was face down in the snow,
ouch.
and I lifted up my head and I saw this guy trotting away. All right. He had just come up behind me while I was talking to somebody and nailed me in the back or the head so hard that I lost consciousness,
Wow.
at least for seconds. And when I,
Yeah, but that's not bullying, man. That's assault.
but he had been my bully for
Sure.
some time, and he just nonchalantly saw me talking and came up and did something to me.
Yeah.
And I looked up. I finally, it wasn't long. It was a second or two because he was still trotting away happily. And I knew exactly what happened. I had been hit in the back, and I just got up. And what he didn't know at that time was I had now been taking karate lessons for about 6-7 months.
Yeah. He got his comeuppance.
I pushed myself up and I ran at him while he was walking away from me with his back to me. I leapt as hard as I could and I fucking did my best jump kick. And I buried my heel between his shoulders right on his spine. Okay.
Badass.
He went fucking down like literally I hit him in the back and he went parallel to the floor. And I landed on the other side of him.
Nice.
All right. And I just, after that clean hit, I just stood strong and walked away. I was just walking. And people were like, his friends, his popular friends were, oh my God, what's happened? Oh, how did you do this to him? Oh, he's right.
You're a bully.
Yes. No. They called me a bully. They said, he's really hurt. And I looked over my shoulder and said, good. And I walked away. I just continued walking away. And I had forgotten that he and I shared a fucking pod that we didn't have single desks. We had 4 desks plowed together, and I was sitting next to him in this fucking pod of desks. And I got back to class, and I'm sitting there, I'm shitting myself like, this giant fucking kid is gonna kill me. And he comes up, he pulls his chair out and sits down next to me, and he looks over at me and says, "Look, man, I'm really sorry I did that to you. You didn't deserve that. I was really like, that was out of line."
Wow.
And after that, we were loose friends.
That's
Like,
cool.
he would still try to pick on me, but the moment I would stand up to him and fight back, we were okay. Like, it would be chill again,
Yeah.
but he just like strength respects strength, and he didn't even have it, right? That suddenly I might have been his bully for a little while, but
Yeah.
then that period of our schooling ended. But yeah, the moment I stood up to him, so I understand where Pox is coming from on this, but where we're talking about bullies in government versus bullies of
Well, that's the
civilians,
thing,
it's
right? Like
civil
it's
war.
a
That's
matter of
that's what we're
scale.
discussing.
It's a matter of scale because in the government they've got the only legitimate use of force that we allow, and on top of it, they have like ultimate power over your life.
And that's why I don't want to go to these protests. Like I want to, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I'm gonna hop up on something high and I'm gonna leap over the backs of peaceful protesters and I'm gonna jump kick someone in the head. like I'm like I, I can't do it. I can't. It's not gonna be any good.
You can't be peaceful in protest,
It's no, I could be, but
but
I
you're going to tend
probably
not
won't.
to want to.
Yeah. Like oh, that I should not. I don't have the charisma and I don't have the patience. I can't be on the A team, on the B team. I can't be like I can be on the C team until the cops cross lines, until the militarized force of the government starts murdering people. Then maybe I have some value there because yeah, no, I don't have any qualms about hurting people. I really don't.
I'd rather not, personally. I'd
Yeah,
rather
no,
I'd
I
rather
wouldn't.
avoid the use of force. I'd
Yep.
rather I'd rather if I were going to do something, I'd rather it be insidious so it can't get traced back to me.
I have that bad capacity to overreact. So until they overreact, I shouldn't even be there.
I hear you, man.
Yeah. Until it's wrong in a very, very provable, terrible way. Nope. Nope. You know what? Because I can see how peaceful they are. I can see how they stand up, get pepper sprayed. Alexa Lavoie gets fucking shot with a rubber bullet. That you know what? I can admire it and say
Yeah.
I would like to be that also. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
heard they
if I can.
fired like rubber bullets just into the crowd, like at random.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't anything
No, no,
that
no.
they said,
Come on.
this
They
isn't
tar-
this isn't escalating fast enough. We need to fire into the crowd.
they targeted her for sure.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. Uh yeah, no, you don't look at a pretty lady like Alexa Lavoie and say,
I
that
gotta find
person
out.
is a
I gotta
violent
look at her and see what
protester
she looks. See
with
what she
her
looks like.
fucking badges on and her camera. Yeah, no, no, no. You did that on purpose. And like I've done a lot more for a lot less. No, when God told me today, don't go down there.
I'm looking for a picture of her that's like just her.
No, find
Oh, here
Abby
she is
Yemen.
talking to Ezra Levant. Oh yeah, yeah, she's kind of pretty.
She's very pretty French Canadian lady who's all up in Ezra Levant and the Rebel News.
Yeah. So
And
she works for Rebel then, yeah?
look, if I had been behind her when she got shot, there's good people there helping her up and helping her pull away. I would have done something stupid, right? Based on fuck bullies and some misplaced
Sense of justice or righteousness?
sense of justice and protecting pretty ladies, right? Like, and that would be the end of me. So it's better I don't,
Yeah, I hear you.
you know.
What was I going to say? I saw something show up somewhere. Maybe you sent it to me. That a reporter was like in tears because people were mocking him.
Yeah, no, that look,
Was that you? Did you send that to me?
I saw one CBC reporter literally get shoved hard from the back. All right, that some random guy just walked up while he was trying to report and just shoved him, was like, fuck you, CBC. And you know what? You know what? I'm not even mad. Like, oh, CB reporters shouldn't get harassed. You know what? Fuck you, CBC. You had it coming a long time. That's the
Yeah,
lightest thing
I'm
that could happen.
realizing they're all fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Like even CP24, which is really should just be about, here's what's happening in and around Toronto. You know what I mean? And here's what's happening in Ottawa. But no, they've gone the I'm here with 3 experts who all share the exact same opinion about COVID. A buddy of mine was telling me that there was a reporter on CP24 or a presenter on CP24 talking to a doctor about the policy going forward with regards to removing the Vax Pass system, right? And they said, I'm paraphrasing. So the unvaccinated, will they just be allowed to mingle with the vaccinated then? Can you believe it? And I'm like, hey, maybe you should hop in your TARDIS and travel back to 20th century South Africa, and then
Like
you can be separated from the Bantus.
the apartheid state, right? Like, I mean, that's something I tried to bring up with my Jewish friend at work. That, like, he seemed to completely disassociate the idea of demographic uh segregation because it's not based on race.
So what?
Yeah, no, that was my position, and he was like, no, it's fine
Because it's not
because
based
it's
on
not
race.
based on race. And what's crazy is that some random black lady that worked with us that I had never seen before, and I voiced it loudly enough that she could hear it because she was there in the room, and I was like, do you really believe this? And she's like, no. And I was like, thank you. Yes, no, absolutely. It doesn't matter if the demographic is black or Jewish or unvaccinated, right? And she's
Oh,
like,
in South
oh, yeah,
Africa,
no, it's ridiculous.
in
It's
South Africa,
ridiculous.
they separated them based on whether or not they were Bantu, colored, which meant not pure Bantu, or Asian, and then white.
Yeah.
Um, and so like it wasn't even just a matter of they kept the blacks away from the whites. No, they kept everybody segregated based on their specific belonging to a subgroup. So like
Was this only a week ago we went to dinner?
yeah, last Saturday. Yeah.
Jesus, man. And
So
I
much
don't
has
know.
happened and
I don't know if you noticed. Uh I think the owner might have noticed, and he just diverted the conversation to
what's
you
that?
and at Mrs. Bragg.
Yeah.
That I said to him, like, this means a lot to me.
Oh yeah.
And for a moment, I felt like I was gonna cry.
Oh,
Yeah,
you fucking pussy.
yeah, exactly, right? That I was like, this is a big deal, you know.
Well,
I'm
and
glad
I think I think I remember that part of the conversation. He came back.
we
It means a lot to me too. It's good
we
to
were,
know that there's people supporting this.
but we were asking him like, do you have issues? Like, have you had problems with the cops? And he was telling us that, like, you know what? He's got an in with the cops, and that they're split like 60-40. And so
But
he
none of them really want to be involved in it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he had like one minor issue where the cop basically was like, I'm not going inside there because, and I translated it as to like, if I don't go in, I didn't see anything,
Right.
so nothing is happening.
Yeah. If he witnesses a crime, then he's got to do something, right?
Exactly, right? But if I and he said, like, come on in and see what he's like, no, I'm not going inside. So as long as he doesn't see it, he doesn't have to do anything about it.
Right.
And this guy is so strong in his conviction, so standing for for literal freedom.
Yep.
Like, I can
The right to
associate
not
with,
be discriminated against.
yeah. And I had that moment where I was like, that means a lot to me that you're doing this, and I really appreciate it. And if he had not deflected to some other thing, I might have lost my shit. Um,
And
but
you weren't even drinking that night.
yeah, yeah, it's drinking is secondary. It really means something, and he's fighting
Yep.
so hard.
He's
In
being smart about it though. Like he's not doing what that
how can
Adam
I
Barbecue did,
how
right?
can I not fight with him in this
Yeah. Well,
tiny
exactly.
little
I'll
way?
go there if I'm going to go out to eat anywhere. I'm going to go patronize him. One, their food's really good,
It's so good.
and two, uh, you know what? He's one of the few restaurants who said we're not participating in this horse shit. We're not gonna discriminate against people based on whether or not they agreed to get a needle in their arm.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
it's a
you
fucking
got it. You got
joke.
a bunch more politicians to rant about. I bet.
Heedy Fry.
Edie Fry.
Oh, Heedy Fry. The lie she told was that protesters tried to take the guns of police. Again, there are dozens, if not hundreds, perhaps at this point, thousands of hours of uncut footage.
Yep.
I challenge anyone to show me footage of protesters trying to take the guns of law enforcement. It has not happened. It just doesn't happen. And yet they lie. Catherine McKenna and Joseph Goebbels insist that as long as they just keep repeating the lie loud
Yep.
enough and long enough, people will believe it. And they're not wrong. And that's why I'm blackpilled. But Heedy Fry has repeatedly stated this, and yet there is no video or photo evidence of such a thing. Heedy Fry is a traitor to our goddamn nation, along with Jennifer fucking O'Connell and Mark fucking Garretson.
Testify.
All right. Blake Desjardins.
Desjardins.
Oh, yeah. No, he's very clearly some kind of Asian who claims indigenous descendancy. But if I had to guess, I would say he's Filipino
I don't know why that matters, but anyway.
because it's the same thing as if I decided to pretend I was a veteran. It's what's the word there? Stolen glory?
Stolen valor, yeah.
Stolen valor. Yes. He is. If I had to guess, I would say he's stealing indigenous valor because he is, as far as I can tell,
Like Elizabeth
like,
Warren.
oh, no, not even. She's a white person who might have some
one
sort of
one one
what
64th or 164th or something like that.
1,024th. Is
Yeah,
that?
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, look, there is some argument that descendantly uh native people are Asians, but that also means that all Slavs are Asians. And no, no, no. This guy does not look Slav slash indigenous to
No.
Canada. He looks fucking Filipino.
Okay, but what did he say?
Oh, he's NDP also.
Of course.
That's yeah. So, oh my God, lockdown problems. How do they happen? Oh, the government has been bullying people for 2 years, and that's so terrible. So it's so weird to see people rising up against it. And God, how do we help these people? You help them by fucking off, you dumb shit. Just stop. Just fucking stop, and everything stops being a goddamn
Yeah,
problem.
that's the thing. Like when I hear Trudeau talk about how we need to do this so we can protect people's freedoms, and these protesters are standing in the way of people being able to run their businesses. What did you do for the last 2 fucking years? How many restaurants and small stores closed because of your, how many hair salons closed to never open their doors again because of the restrictions put in by your government? And you're saying that
Uh,
these truckers are now the problem? Give me a
the
fucking break.
rumor is 20 plus thousand, maybe in the realm of 60,000 small
That's okay though. They're
businesses.
getting their COVID bucks though, so it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's their excuse, right? Is oh, we helped these Canadians. No, you
Well, you
ruined
took
them.
away their livelihoods, and then you
You
gave back a bit of their own money that you
you
fucking took from them.
yeah, you absolutely ruined them, and then said, "Here's a little bit of fucking crumbs, bitch."
Crumbs that came from the cake that we took from you.
Yeah, I know, right? Like so fucking crazy. Uh, and he's just this Blake Desjardins is just pretending he has no idea that the virus didn't do this. Government overreach did this. Again, 2 years of bullying, and now they're pushing back, and he's saying, "You're a bully." And oh, we don't even know how this happened. Uh, including the this is a crazy thing that actually happened with Heidi Fry and Blake Desjardins. That the police are now enforcing, thanks to the Emergency Act, uh, with no bullets, with no excess of violence, despite trampling an old woman,
Rubber
a
bullets and
Mohawk
tear gas.
elder. No tear gas. She literally said that, uh, and yet it's happened. And they're using rubber bullets and tear gas and trampling people and using their batons. And they're so impressed with how the cops have not had to use any of this, except if any of that's true, is only because the protesters are actually not being violent in any way. That's the only way that this can go down that way, right? That they haven't had to fire into the crowd indiscriminately.
Yep.
It's because they're not violent. Like they've tried so hard to instigate them into violence, and it hasn't worked. Right? They nearly killed this indigenous woman. I don't have the what's it called? The video. I can't share the video apparently. But I might be able to actually share the still image. No, not allowed. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
I know. I can't even share the still. Fuck
It's
up.
all good. We've all seen it, and you can find it online anyway. Rose left about 15 minutes ago, or 7 minutes ago.
Oh,
Good night, Rose.
good night. Thank you. Uh, and again, like, oh, we're so impressed with their ability to do this with no bullets and no violence. It's because the protesters aren't violent. That's the only way that's possible.
And it's also a lie because they did use bullets and violence. They just used rubber bullets and
Yeah.
tear gas, and they use horses.
No, they've been batoning and horsing them since yesterday. This is
Yeah, it's
this is
ridiculous.
fucking insane.
It's called gaslighting.
I need to find a way to share this goddamn video because my last guy before you go to bed is Arif Virami along with Jennifer fucking O'Connell have both thrown out the goddamn lie. Fucking McKenna and Goebbels tell it loud enough and long enough, this lie will be believed about a protester threw a bicycle at horses.
Oh yeah.
What you've seen it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's a fucking lie.
Yeah.
There was no bicycle thrown at horses. Okay. The horses trampled an old lady and some guy who may or may not have died. We still don't actually have confirmation, but no one threw a bike. I've seen the bike. You've seen the bike.
Yeah, you sent me a video of it.
God damn it.
This isn't surprising you though, right? They're politicians. Of course they lie, especially to forward a narrative that is being dictated by their higher ups.
It doesn't surprise me. It enrages me.
Yeah.
And it also leads me to believe that, yes, Justin Trudeau has not received the order to execute a proper false flag because he will be the false flag, because he is the patsy, the puppet. Jordan Peterson is right. He will be executed by his handlers, and Chrystia Freeland will take over.
You
And
think that's going to happen on 2/22/22?
that's what they claim.
That's what they say on the 4chans.
Hey, look at the leaf of infinite gets.
The
Okay.
leaf of infinite gets. What's that?
If you're not familiar with 4chan, a good get is like proper dubs.
Oh,
Right.
right.
Your
This one has what, like, so this prediction, what does it have, like quads?
your
or trips?
post is numbered. So if your post number ends in sequential
Doubles.
digits,
Or trips.
that's dubs. If it ends in triple sequential digits, that's trips. There is this thing happening on 4chan about a fucking leaf that, yeah, every post about a fucking leaf seems to be dubs, trips, like repeating digits constantly.
Yeah.
And that's it. It doesn't make any sense. It's not prophetic in any way, except you might believe that God has abandoned us and left us to the whim of his jester Kak, who has dominion over the earth and will just make jokes forever while we succumb to tyranny
Yeah.
and destroy ourselves. So maybe the numbers make Keck laugh.
Well, no, they're way, like, so when you get dubs and trips on 4chan, if you guys aren't familiar, it's seemingly confirmation that what you're saying is true or correct.
And
So what? So
look,
this that's why I'm asking. Did this production get a lot of trips or dubs?
yes,
How many?
repeatedly, and every quoted version seems to get more. That's
I have a feeling that that's probably written into the code on 4chan.
no,
No,
it's
for certain
probably
subjects.
no. Hold on.
For hot
It's
topics?
most likely coincidence, and the way that we fucking capture it makes it seem like something more. But
No, I think that what I think is that the people who are in on the 4chan moderation and in on the code of 4chan, when topics are hot, they have an algorithm that a
no,
hot topic has a higher
no,
chance of getting dubs or trips.
nope,
That's my prediction.
no, absolutely wrong. There's just enough shit posting that you could collect anything you want and you can describe anything you want.
Yeah.
On the other hand, years ago, they memed Donald Trump into the presidency with a
Oh yeah, they did.
1.1% chance of winning.
Oh yeah, they did.
And then they started talking about honk honk clown world 2 years before a convoy rolled in
Where
with
they
their
honked.
whole thing being we're going to honk our horns. There is a real god called Keck
Yeah.
that memes into existence when there is no other recourse,
He's
and
an
it's
Egyptian
spilled
god of
off the
chaos.
internet. Like the meme magic has spilled off the internet into the real world. 2 years it took. All right. Honkler, like I bought you a goddamn bugle. You like
Fucking, I love
I
that.
don't
Adolf
leave
Honkler.
I don't leave the house without my bugle. Okay? And like it's clown world
Yep.
and it's now real.
Yep.
And if I wear my horn out into the real world and come across the wrong cop, for God's sake, I might be shot over it.
No, you won't be.
That's it's proper meme magic that 2 years before there was a portent honk honk clown world, and now they're honking in the streets. There are guys in the middle of the street party just blowing a fucking horn.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen that Starship Troopers meme
I've seen them all.
with Ratchek?
Everyone
He's got the
honks.
rainbow wig on, and he's got the clown nose, and he says, "Everybody honks, nobody quits."
I sent it to you
That's
because
great.
as soon as I
You
saw
sent it
it,
to
I
me
was
after I
like,
found it, though. I'd already found it, but you did send it to me.
oh, but it was because you of all people, like it was made for you
Oh yeah.
because yeah, you're not wrong about Heinlein. Uh geez, man, like
Hey, Heinlein also said that only citizens should get to vote, and service guarantees citizenship.
see, and I disagree with him on that a little bit. We
I know we talked about my ideas about suffrage in Canada.
no, I've had yeah, but your ideas are I don't know. They're
A little fascistic, yeah, maybe a little
no,
totalitarian.
no. They're unrefined.
Yeah, oh yeah, sure. The refinement comes in how you write it down for press release.
See, but that doesn't even matter because you know, you can these emergencies act uh powers are completely compliant with
With the
the
charter.
Charter of Rights
Yeah.
and Freedoms and the Bill of Rights, right?
Well, Brian Peckford would beg to differ. Welcome, Mass Creation Broadcasts. I've never heard of you. I don't know who
Nope.
you are. You're new to me. Do you know
I
who
know
Mass?
this guy. We go way back.
All right,
We
good.
have not collaborated, even though we probably should, but he's a good dude.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have a YouTube channel too, Mass Creation Broadcasts. I'm trying to beat 400 subscribe or get to 400 subscribers. So go over there and find my channel and check me out.
No, I had some ideas on this and now I've lost them. Uh, you know, the big idea is that any region that did not vote exceeds the vote count has zero representation. Did
Yeah,
not vote wins, and
yeah.
there is no person representing that seat. That I think that's a huge incentive for people to vote without having to force them, right? Right? So the seat is just empty. That's I think that's not only incredibly incentive but dangerous. And people might think differently about it. Um but service? No. No. I again, as a black pilled person, I think I should be able to say, "You know what, Craig? I'm not helping you do a goddamn thing. Also, I'm going to cast my ballot. Fuck you."
Well, you know
That's
what? Here's the
no, no,
thing.
no.
I'm also go ahead. Sorry, finish.
Just that. No, I don't have to fight on your behalf. I don't have to serve in the police or I was born here. This is my citizenship, and here's my vote. If I vote zero, that counts towards no representation for me.
There you go.
But if I vote, I don't need to fucking go in the army. I I need to be able to tell all my fellow man, fuck off.
Well,
That's what
no, I hear
my
you.
vote should
I
be able
totally
to
agree.
do.
I think you should be able to say none of the above. Absolutely, and I think it should have some difference on what happens in the particular riding. Um, I've also thought that a lot of what we do now in terms of voting and the way we do our democratic system is a little bit antiquated, especially given the technology that we have now. Most things now could be voted direct referendum for those who are interested in it.
No, no, no,
No, no,
that too.
I think
I
they
don't
could.
like.
So, for instance, Justin Trudeau wants to invoke the Emergencies Act, right? Now he has that power to do it because he's prime minister. But what if it was one of these things where it had to be put to the public whether or not we're in a state of national emergency?
What?
And then you had a blockchain voting system that was done internet based, and it couldn't be
Yeah,
fraudulently it
sure,
couldn't be fraudulently executed so that
sure.
he gets the result that he wants. It
And
it actually represents all those who participated in the vote.
now you're talking about mob rule, and you actually talked me off this cliff a little while ago when I was very afraid of COVID. And I was like, maybe you shouldn't have block parties. Maybe you shouldn't protest with these, you know, 40 people in your backyard and going to Daytona for spring break.
Yeah.
Because if a number of people voted against that, they could actually physically stop it now. And that's also not right.
Well, no,
Right.
this is the failing of democracy. Democracy is subjugation of the minority by the majority, and
Yeah.
that's why I like what the U.S. has. But I think
Right.
if we're
But
going to
what
have a democracy, I would much rather have the citizens voting on more things than just who they put into office
okay, okay.
to make
Uh,
decisions on their behalf. I think
sure.
they have it within them to make decisions on their own behalf on a lot of things. So that's why I'm saying direct referendums are probably better in certain circumstances,
Okay.
and we have the technology to do them now.
Yeah, yeah. And that's great in the terms of taking a poll and finding like what the public consensus is or their but it doesn't do any good in terms of legislation or actually taking action because you still have to weigh it against something like the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. And one of my good jokes was, "Oh, these summary executions are charter compliant. Right? That, yeah, like they're clearly not. And yeah, if you have enough people voting for a particular thing or for anything, then basically 51% can vote to enslave 49%. And that's not right.
Well, no, but that's where a charter and a
Oh,
constitution come in, right?
okay.
You
No,
can't
no,
you
no,
can't
no,
vote away
yeah.
someone's rights if they're enshrined into codified into law.
And that's actually completely contrary to Heinlein, right? That
Right.
Heinlein makes some good statements, and yet there has to be some kind of, like, what's the word? Restrictions, some kind of checks and balances.
Yeah.
And it should be magic in the US, except it's just not. And it's
No.
not this, it's not magic in Canada because somehow we have these ridiculous installed activist judges
Yeah.
that decide that, oh, Supreme Court of Canada says that an indigenous person shouting, "I hate white people," and punching a white person in the face and breaking their teeth, this is a real story.
Is protected.
It's protected and it's not hate speech. Yeah, something's very fucking wrong. So we have to find a way to stop that. Right? Like, but how? Without being the fascist monsters we're trying to fight. How do we stop that? That's a weird conversation. That's a strange magic that doesn't exist as
Well,
far as
no,
I
that's
know.
just it. Yeah, there's never going to be a libertarian utopia. We're
No,
further away
no,
from
no. Hold on. There should be.
yeah, well, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah,
you know the
yeah.
definition of a utopia, right? It
No,
doesn't
no,
exist.
no,
It's
no,
no
no, no,
place, right?
no, no,
It's
no.
no place.
Utopia is a euphemism for the libertarian uh piece of shit, garbage, shithole that we protect regardless. That's okay. Once we accept that, now we might be onto something. That, oh my God, I, Irving Twin, am the only shithead that thinks all the black people need to go. And you, Craig, I love all the black people. And oh, Irving Twin is the worst. Can't stop me. Where do we put that? How do we make that a thing? Right?
Well,
Where I just want to murder all the black people, and you're
right.
like, nope.
Well,
How do
how do we well, we build our constitutions and our charters based on the NAP first and foremost.
okay.
That's how you
All
get
right.
as close as you can. And all laws codify like so if you write a constitution that's built on the NAP, right? And the government is held
Hold
to
on.
that same standard.
How do we
One,
stop? No, 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 no,
hold
no,
on.
no. I'm a bad person
Yeah,
and I mean harm to other people.
right.
How do we stop you from infringing on my rights? That's where
Well,
shit gets weird, right?
the NAP would prevent you from being well, is the
No, no, no,
law
no, no. Fuck what no, no. I have no power. I'm an individual
right.
that thinks stupid and terrible things.
Yeah,
How do we stop you and all the other society from oppressing me?
the NAP.
Oh, oh,
The
see,
NAP.
no, no,
Well, listen. Okay, you can't 100% prevent that. But what I'm saying is that
no.
you
We have to.
well that's where I'm saying you're
No,
never going to have the libertarian paradise where nobody's rights are ever infringed by anybody else's. But the way you can try and aim for that is by instituting a constitution or a charter predicated on the NAP. And the government needs to be held to the same standard, which means that all taxes should be voluntary. and you do that through making it part of sales tax as opposed to income taxes. They
I
shouldn't be
had
able to
a
just take
great
the money you
no,
make.
no, no.
You should only be able to give them your money as part of, services they render based on your purchases, right? But
I
anyway,
had a great thought on this. You might like this. Okay. So, income tax, get rid of it.
yeah,
Uh Sales tax, you can have it. Stupid authoritarians. Everything else, find a good crowdsourcing.
exactly. Yeah, most
Well,
government actions could be done through a crowdsourcing system.
I think education is important, so I'm going to crowdsource this with it $5 a month.
Right,
I
right,
think military is very important, so I'm
right.
going to give it $15 a month. I think post-secondary, vaguely important. I'll give it $2.50 a month, but trades, I'll give them $5 a month.
Right.
Uh, challenge the government to crowdsource their fucking taxes outside of sales tax. See what fucking happens. They're so bad at everything. I would rather crowdsource some private industry.
Well, you do, right?
What's that?
If you've ever
Sure.
backed something on Kickstarter, you're crowdsourcing, you're crowdfunding a private
You know what
enterprise.
though? But Kickstarter and Go GoFundMe, they've
Indiegogo.
never
Yeah.
done anything significant. Like they're literally absolutely useless. And so is government. But you know what? Tell government do a private, even profit based crowdsourcing and no taxes unless you do a good goddamn job and see what the fuck happens. I
Yeah,
think it would
yeah,
actually
I
be
I would
better.
agree. You know what? Taxation should be consumption based, not advanced billing. Basically, we advance bill. Our government advance bills us for all the services they provide.
Because you
It
know
should be
what's
based
great
on what
about
we use, not based on what they think they can charge us for it.
Kickstarter, right? Is Kickstarter says, "Hey, we'll give you this if you jump into it now."
Yeah,
And that's exactly what government should be doing, right? Oh, universal healthcare? It's not universal. You can buy other healthcare,
yeah,
but we're fighting for this and we'll promise you this
right,
with this donation.
right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, no, no. I like that idea
Yeah,
of the idea I like is some poor bastard gets cancer
hmm,
and he doesn't have to lose his house
right.
to try to survive with a family and kids. I like that,
Sure.
but
I'm a big fan of healthcare co-ops. They work in the United States. There's people. So basically, it's means based in terms of how much you get charged. So if you're part of this co-op and you make $200,000 a year and you break your finger, it's going to cost you $200 to set it. If you make $20,000 a year, it's going to cost you $2 to set it, get it set and fixed, right? So
no, but
these are good ideas for how you can pay for people's healthcare.
that's not different than Kickstarter.
Exactly.
Like it. Yeah. No, no, but let the people choose
Yeah, exactly.
where they put their taxes. And sales tax, yeah, sure. Every time we trade, we'll give the government a slice.
Well,
Okay,
again,
because
I think consumption-based taxes should be based on what it is you're buying. So for instance, you buy fuel, taxes that collected from fuel purchase should go to maintaining and building roads. And that's the only place you get money for maintaining and
no,
building roads.
no, I disagree.
Why? How would you do it?
All taxes levied by trade should be in put towards guaranteeing that trade, which is basically military holding the territory. So you have the minimum cost to keep Canada sovereign,
Right.
and now everything else is voluntary.
How about this? Instead of paying for a standing army with professional armed forces, we do like Switzerland does, and every able-bodied adult is a member of the military, and they are issued they're issued a gun, and they fight when they're called upon it.
Look, if I had the dictatorial powers for 10 minutes, I would put into law all adults should have a sidearm at all times with appropriate lethal ammunition, and anyone who said different would be a criminal against the nation and need to be executed on the spot. But I
CMAC,
don't.
why should you pay something you don't use? This is the issue I have with gasoline taxes. I'm just reading CMAC's comment. So, for instance, I pay taxes every time I fill up my tank. A portion of those taxes go to my municipal government, my provincial government, and my federal government.
Yeah.
Right? And the ostensibly the idea is that those pay for the maintenance and building of roads. However, if I'm paying into the federal coffers when I buy gas, why am I paying for a road in, you know, Kekabeka Falls, Ontario that I'm
Okay.
never going to drive on? Why shouldn't the people
Okay.
who live in Kekabeka Falls, Ontario, pay for the roads in Kekabeka Falls, Ontario through their gas taxes? Same
You're
goes for Ottawa, same goes for any other city. It shouldn't be incumbent on the federal government to build roads unless it's like
okay.
the Trans Canada Highway. That would make sense. So all the service stations, all the gas stations on the Trans Canada Highway, the taxes collected there go to pay for the Trans Canada Highway.
I think we're talking about two different things, or we're talking past each other a
I'm
little.
talking to CMAC. Because
Okay.
CMAC said, "Why do I
Why
pay
am I
for things
forced
I
to
don't
pay?
use?" Yeah. So I'm saying, yeah, you shouldn't pay for a road in Kekabeka Falls if you're never going to drive on it.
Look, there is a bare minimum that we should share, and I think it comes with spending. Okay. That, yes, CMAC, you may be in Alberta and I'm in Toronto, and we might not ever cross paths or share monies, but we should be willing to at least spend a little bit on each other. Okay. And it's not great. It's not NAP. It actually violates the NAP
Right.
to a hard degree. But the bare minimum, and then everything else is voluntary. And I'd rather do it that way rather than what's happening now, which
Right.
is actually a real thing that is not going to go away, despite what you might think, Craig. Uh, School, not like infrastructure, like roads. Okay, yeah, okay, CMAC. I think, I think if we want to call ourselves a nation, and we've had this discussion before, that's already left authoritarian. It has to be based on what we spend into the nation, or you can't justify it. There's no way to justify it without, I want to take part. And I do so by spending. You want to go out in the woods and not spend and live off fucking rabbits and building quinzies and making your own firewood. Okay. Our laws now say that's a crime. No. Under my dictatorship, I would say that's fine. Go ahead. Go. Good
So
luck
you
to you.
you be a benevolent dictator like Augusto Pinochet,
I
where
would
you where
say,
you where you you decentralized all of the industries and said it's now all private.
look,
Government's getting their fingers out of it,
we've
and
come to the
the
we've come to the
only
worst
people who have to fear are communists.
we've come to the worst place in human civilization, the nation. The nation has money. If you want to spend the money and trade in the money, You have to pay the sales tax.
Well, wait, hold on. The nation doesn't have money. The nation collects taxes. You make the money. The
Nope.
money that the nation gets
No.
is a
No.
result.
No.
No, hold on.
No.
Let me finish.
No.
Let me finish.
Oh,
The money that
absolutely wrong.
the money the nation
Absolutely
gets.
bullshit.
No,
No.
let me finish.
Oh.
Let me finish. The government only prints the money. The value of what goes on here in Canada, the value of the goods and services that we all enjoy comes from the interactions between private individuals buying and selling services and goods. The government gets their cut. They don't make the money. They don't do anything.
Fool. The government accepts the money. We trade based on value. Money is a representation of that value, and our cooperation accepts money as a representation of that value. That's
Right,
why
but the currency is created by the government because the government controls the currency. But
wrong.
the government doesn't create the
Currency
currency.
is created by value. That's actually the truth of it.
I think you
And
and I are
that
agreeing but disagreeing. Yes, you're right. The value of the currency is based on how people use it. The currency is created out of whole cloth by the government based on the value of the interactions between citizens.
wrong. That's actually the narrow view that the government determines what is value and the money.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't say that. That's not what I'm saying.
No. Hold on. You have a euphemism for it. But go ahead.
What I'm saying is that the value of any good or service is determined by the people who are interested in buying and selling it,
Yeah.
right? What
Yeah.
government does is it creates a currency to make those transactions easier. Otherwise, we'd just be living in a barter economy, or we'd be trading. We'd be right. So we have a currency system that the government regulates based on the fact that people are going to agree that this thing has value. This piece of paper or this little coin has value, right? The government gets their cut, but they don't create value.
I never said they did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You and I are agreeing, but you think we're disagreeing.
Except that I think you're disagreeing with me more than I'm disagreeing with you. That look, value is real.
Yeah.
Money is an imaginary representation of
Right.
that.
It's a construct. Yeah.
That's why we have to accept that trade is a valid way to tax, because all other means of tax are imaginary. Trade is real, and taxing trade to facilitate trade
Yeah.
might be valid. We could examine it forever.
Yeah.
Okay. But making up other things other than crowdfunding for, like, oh, we need roads, so we're gonna tax your imaginary money. No. Hold on. No. You have to donate your imaginary money, because money's imaginary unless it is directly involved with your ability to trade. So bartering is actually not Stone Age and bullshit.
No.
It's completely valid,
Mm-hmm.
because you farm potatoes maybe, and I push asphalt in the ground.
Yeah.
But you know what? You don't need roads, so I don't get potatoes. That's also fucking valid.
Yeah. I agree.
So, but if we trade, you're like, hey, I want your roads. And I'm like, you know what, guy? I'm starving. Can I have some potatoes? And you're like, yep. Then we trade, and the government takes a small portion of that to fund an army to make sure we can continue to do this as long as we need to.
I'm again. I understand that, and I understand that it's a valid use of funds to protect the border, our nation's existence.
Yo, no, shut up,
I'm just a
shut
bigger
up,
fan.
nigger. I need to take more of your potatoes because this guy needs health care. Oh, wait,
Yes.
what? Is that wrong? Oh, okay. Maybe you should be able to just volunteer some money
Right.
for your own health care
Yeah.
and the road builder's health care if he volunteers it too, right? We're like the small trade tax, and God, Alberta fought off the PST for a long time. They do no, they fought off the GST.
Yeah.
No, they fought off the PST. They don't have a provincial tax
Right.
still in
Right.
2022. Uh yeah,
Yeah.
the tiny trade tax just just to fund police, just to fund military. Maybe that's not the worst thing.
No, it's
Again,
not. I'm just offering that there's a better system, right? There could be a better system that doesn't involve forcibly taking people's money. And that would be a voluntary army, or not a voluntary army, a citizen army, a national militia in which every able-bodied person is expected to come to the aid of their nation. They're issued a firearm, they're taught how to use it, and they're taught how to muster when they need to.
look,
And then you say, this is your obligation. In lieu of you paying taxes for police and military,
nope,
you are the police and military.
nope,
You
wrong.
intervene when there's an issue.
No, wrong. Because my
Switzerland
guy,
seems to do it okay.
what?
Switzerland seems to do it okay. That's how it is in Switzerland.
Switzerland pays like 65% tax in all their 65%
No,
income
I'm not
tax.
saying they don't
And
pay a lot of taxes, but they put those taxes towards different things. I'm saying they have a citizen army.
look, and I would love a citizen army. You know what else I would like? Is guaranteed that the time that I go to war, that I get compensated because, guy, I am suffering now without a job and I have not gone to war. Okay. And my country is not supporting me, and neither are you. No offense, guy, but I'm sort of on the outs here.
What do you mean
And
I'm not
it's
supporting you? You have my support in
no
everything you do.
you do. I know I do. But also when it comes down to it, I need a way to make some dollars, and this government's not doing it for me. And I don't know if I have a job coming out. You know, I don't want to pull money from other people. What I want is the bare fucking minimum that if go to fight, there's money. If somebody says, "Oh, my grandma's got to go to a home," I can donate to that. What I don't want is suddenly 40% of my fucking income disappeared, and now these assholes are telling me basically all of it is disappeared if they don't like it, you know? Like
Yeah, I agree. I think you and I agree on more than we disagree.
and,
I
and if we can just accept that, okay, some trade, like, Craig, I'd like to sell you a bridge. And you're like, "Oh, I'd love to buy a bridge." And yeah, no, let's give 7% to make sure that outward forces, some bandits, can't just take that bridge, that
yeah,
someone will protect the bridge.
sure.
We should pay that.
Yeah.
Everything else should be voluntary. Uh, I do think there's a bare minimum, and again, this circles back to like everything trends left and authoritarian,
Mhm.
right? It all trends collectivist and into laws. So let's do the absolute minimum required to make it work.
Okay. It is late. This is one of your longer streams, and I think I should probably go because it's after 3 now.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I held you way too long, guy.
No. I've been engaged, and I'm really enjoying the conversation.
Oh, I'm
Again, I
glad.
think you and I are agreeing on more than we're disagreeing. For me, it's not a one or the other. It's a mix of a lot of things,
Yeah.
right? It's not like we have to do this, not that. It's we should maybe do this more than we do that, and we should maybe do a little bit less of this and a little more of that. So, yeah. But it says right down here that we're both fucking liars. So great stream needs a sequel. Thanks, Squid Coyote. CMAX says that sounds better than jury duty. Squid Coyote also says put a government on Mars with no tax base. See how well their initiatives to feed the hungry and get more oxygen and money to BLM works. Yeah, it's true, right?
Oh,
I'm interested to see what Elon Musk does on Mars for sure.
10 people watching. Why are you not watching the fucking live streams in Ottawa, you
Because
fools?
it's too depressing. I haven't watched since yesterday because it's
I
too
know,
depressing.
me either. And
Yeah.
I'm at this point where it's like, whatever they say about what happened in Ottawa, that's a lie. I don't need to consult the live streams. You're wrong. They've all been peaceful. I am so inundated with all the footage I've seen. It's all bullshit. Everything the mainstream media says is wrong.
Oh yeah, no, it is.
So fucking
Oh, but
ridiculous.
we've known that since 2016.
Yeah,
and
I
before.
know. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt my feelings, Craig.
It has been a great stream. Thank you very much, Squid Coyote. I'll watch what I want. That's freedom. Good on you, man.
Oh God, that's so magic to hear. Thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah,
Really.
I'm like this is actually probably one of your more successful streams. And considering that you didn't promote it, you started it late and it was kind of on a whim.
And all the
Yeah,
shit
that's
is
great.
happening
And
elsewhere in the
it's because
goddamn
of your
country.
hashtag. It's because you blackface Hitler. It's because of your hashtag.
That motherfucker.
Go C team.
Go see team. Yeah.
All right, folks. I'm going to sign off. Irving, you have yourself a great night. Are you going to stay on for a bit or are you done?
You know what? I'll stay on if they're on.
Okay.
This fucking crowd. Thanks so much for
If
coming,
you're new
Craig.
to the stream, Irving might pass out midstream and then you're just going to see his flag behind him. Because he's how many drinks are you in?
Oh God, I'm well past half the bottle.
There you go.
But thanks for coming, Craig
Thank you.
Bragg. Follow him on YouTube. Are you Crag?
No, my
C-R-A-G?
Gmail address is Crag Bragg, but my YouTube channel is Craig Bragg. And on Getter, I'm at Crag Bragg. So if you want to follow me on Getter, I've got a few followers there. So good night, CMAC. Good night, Squid Coyote. Good night, everybody. And the LOL Blackface Hitler brought us together. That's true. All right. Good night, folks. I'm leaving the studio. Take care, Irving.
Good night, Craig. Because I still have, if you all are willing to listen, at least one fucking asshole. Arif Virami. I can't post the video of the goddamn bicycle. It amazes me to no end that they're allowed to just tell blatant lies in the House of Commons. And that's not like me being ridiculous. They're allowed to tell lies in the House of Commons. You can see our MPs challenging each other to make claims in the press conference outside of the House of Commons, because if they did it out there, it would be defamation. It would be like some kind of suable offense, and they they just tell the lies in the house. It's nuts. And I was watching Parvu, which is a part joke, part semantic, and just found these people just telling these lies outright. It's okay. I shouldn't have let Greg go. I'm gonna go. Good night, guys. Thank you all for coming. God, 9 watching now. So good. Good job, guys. Hail Sigmar, and we'll see you all in the gulags.